Well, there we go. I'm still not used to that for some reason. I can't time it right. But anyways, Dave, before we get started, the Red Wings have finally won a game.
Congratulations.
After 7 absolute atrocities.
Congratulations.
We finally won a fucking game.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Now, it's like, oh, my goodness. I don't know how to phrase this because it's like Juve and the Red Wings. We've finally won one match. Like, we've only won one match in like the last 7. Like,
but we're gonna win tomorrow, right?
Right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Good. We should take that salami and eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat some salami. I always get hot. There's always hot Genoa salami.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants Genoa salami, right, Denzel?
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Thanks, Denzel.
Oh man. Funny enough, that was the last thing I ate before I got completely sick and couldn't eat for a day and a half.
Even tainted meat, I see.
No, it's my classic mortadella with hot Genoa salami. You know,
some hot.
Whop it up, just whop it up hard.
That sounds so just. I just need some hot, steamy Genoa salami.
I love it though. I'm not even gonna lie. It's so delicious.
Yeah,
it's a classic.
It's so delicious. Let's ask Lukaku how he feels about that. Lukaku, how do you feel about that Genoa salami?
You just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
So you got a full brand of approval from Lukaku there. He finds it. Boom, 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 boom.
You went early with it though, and Vlad's probably not even here.
Well, that's a Vlad problem.
Fair enough.
It is. Well, I mean, you know, you're sick. I'm like weirdly sick, but not sick. But at the same time, I'm sick. I still sound kind of trashy.
Yeah,
my voice is a little bit back. But like for some reason, it's just like the sinus infection. I've like lost all sense of smell and taste, and I can't enjoy food. I haven't been able to enjoy food for like a week. And you know, when you kind of are in the culinary part of it with the whole restaurant thing, I'm like, normally because like for me when I'm experimenting with recipes and stuff like that, I'm like, all right, let me taste it. It needs more of this. And I was doing that today, and I like took a swab out of something. Fuck, I can't taste anything.
It's like the customers are like, why is this shit so salty?
Why is it so salty? Dash, what the hell? No. I'm like sitting there because I was trying to make a new St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, right? So everybody.
Oh, it is too, yeah.
So yeah, my life absolutely sucks tomorrow. I'm just gonna have to deal with a bunch of stupid drunk people. So I'm like, hey, you know, let's make some specialty St. Patrick's Day cocktails. And then I'm like trying to taste the premix, and I'm like, I can't taste the premix because I forgot I can't taste it. And the bartender's looking at me, he's like, how did you not know that? Dude, it's just a long week. Just leave me alone.
Oh, I feel you, man. So we both feel like shit. It is the Colin show, so hopefully you guys can take it away for us and really save us the troubles. I have to rest up. I'm here drinking tea. I don't even drink tea. I've been drinking tea all day.
So have you been drinking ginger tea?
What? You know what? I'm out of everything. And okay, this is how bad it was. And my sister, who visited a couple weeks ago, she's a nurse. The whole family, they're a bunch of doctor people, right? Medical staff. So she sees I have a bunch of expired children's medication like all over the pantry because I had taken care of my niece at one point and she was sick. She showed up sick, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I bought all of it, right?
It's like, I don't know how to function here. What is this? I can just imagine you walk into a pharmacy and they're like, what can I get for you, man? What's going on? Kid sick, don't know how function.
Yeah. So I had everything, and my sister's like, it's expired, you don't need this. She got rid of everything, right? Just being the nurse, like, by the book. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna need. I even had Pedialyte, which I swear I could have used the electrolytes because all I have is like rum and water in this house. And I mean, water can only go so far, and rum's not gonna do the job.
It might clear you out. Might clear your sinus out. You just go through the rum, and yeah, you know, who knows?
So, anyways,
dude, this is funny. He just missed it.
Yeah, you did just miss it.
He did just miss it. Lukaku made some commentary on hard Genoa salami. Unfortunately, missed it, Vlad. Unfortunately,
so it happens for being slow. Anyways, and we've been waffling anyways before we get right into it.
I mean, we're waiting for people to come in. So
yeah, but yeah, just to finish up the story. So I'm going through my cupboards. I'm like, okay, I know I got like a first aid thing. My wife's got this box of first aid stuff. And I go in there and I see a bottle of children's Motrin. I'm like, that's something. And I look at it, expired in June. It's like, why is everything expired? I'm like, fuck it, double dose. And I swear to God, it just made me sweat everything out. And I just sweat all night long.
Isn't that the worst thing ever, though? Like, it's like you have something, and then it's like you're thinking that you're good, and then the moment comes to when you actually need it, and you look at it, and it's like expired, and you're just like,
everything. I have nothing.
Fuck.
There's like nothing in this house that's good. Like I'm on to like Tetley tea now. I don't know if that's thing in America, just like the crappy English stuff. Because I'm just out of everything.
Got yourself some crumpets for it.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish. I love crumpets. I love how the peanut butter melts in the holes.
Okay. All right.
Was that weird?
I've never gotten that before. That is just so weird.
Or Nutella. Nutella will do it too.
You get some nice creamy hazelnuts on it, huh?
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
You know,
sir, no, go ahead.
I witnessed a hit and run 2 hours ago.
What?
Shit. Not on a person, on a vehicle.
Still, I mean,
here's the thing. So I was sitting outside yesterday to leave, and it's a group of people. One of them, they had mimosas. I think they were pretty plastered. And one of them backs up. So it's a one way, right? So like the entrance to the restaurants are one way, and then there's another lane for it's not two ways, right? And we have the parking set up to the way where it's a one way. You have to be an idiot not to. So this person backs out and tries to go through the one way, but they back out. They have to cut really, really hard. So they rear end another car and they scrape the shit out of it and kind of pump a little bit of the stuff out. And they didn't realize this, but they did that. That was right in front of our security camera that we have. And then I see it, and I start walking towards them, and my other cook that was with me starts walking towards them. The individual looks at us, gets out of the car, looks at it, and obviously the damage wasn't too bad, goes back in the car, and then drives off.
Just like kind of froze. It was the fight.
Just
fight or flight.
And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like thinking, do you not realize you just committed a felony? Like in the United States.
Is it a felony?
It is a felony if you hit someone's vehicle and you take off.
Oh. Well,
it's a hit and run.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
No, seriously, that's one of the things. Like, food for thought for people here. Like, guys, if you hit a car, even if you just lightly scratch it, you are by law required to notify the individual, hey, I dinked your car. And like,
interesting.
Yeah. Well, and the sad part is like, so I had to go back inside, go into the DVR, pull the video up, and I'm like, all right. So I go up to the bar and I'm like, can I get, and I grab the microphone because we have a loudspeaker, and I'm like, all right, patrons, to the owner of this vehicle, your car just got rocked. What? What? Yes. Can you come to the bar and I will have a discussion with you for it? So,
did he have a drink ready for him?
Oh, yes, I did. I gave him a free drink.
That's awesome.
But it was like, he went out and he's like, oh, the damage isn't too bad. I'm like, yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm like, it's up to you, dude. Because like, here's the license plate of the car and everything like that. It's however you want to pursue it or not. But it's just so stupid. Because like, why make eye contact with me and then just drive off? I'm like,
they froze. They didn't know what to do. That's all it was.
It was just a scratch.
And they had a shitty conscience. They're like, no. Or they were drunk. They were just drunk. And they're like, screw it.
It's just like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, it wasn't really that bad. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, damage isn't that bad. You could just tell the dude, hey, my bad. And let me get you some gasoline or some paint just to clean it up, just to clear it off.
I mean, shitty people.
Very, very Genoa Salami like.
Oh, man. We should get into the Genoa Salami.
We should get into some Genoa Salami, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Frosinone Lazio, by the way, 96th minute of the +8. 3-2 for Lazio, in case anybody was wondering.
Oh, they've got the perk, new coach boost. It's like the special ability. Lazio have now unlocked new manager boost.
Oh, yeah, because who did that today?
First win.
The Salernitana, and who would they play today? It's Diversa. Diversa just got fired from there.
From Salernitana or Lecce? Oh, Lecce.
Lecce.
Yeah,
Lecce. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck. It escaped me. Yeah, so Lecce won today.
There's a perk, man. There's a perk when it comes to footy. When you sack your coach, you're guaranteed to win the next game.
That's funny. Yeah, no, it happens.
We should have did that against Real Madrid in the Champions League final.
Just sack our coach.
Sack Allegri right before the final.
Yeah. Throwing.
That would be the only time I would willingly say Allegri out. Just do it right before a Champions League final, sack Allegri, and then
And then put in
Barcelona,
Igor
whoever-
Tudor.
Yeah, just put in some random. Fuck, you just run Landucci. You just run Landucci, and then it's like all of a sudden they're like, what's going on? Juventus are doing this and this, and then as you can say, it looks like Juventus have activated the new coach boost, which is guaranteed one match win right after the sacking. So unfortunately for the team that's playing them in the Champions League final, they're absolutely fucked.
So basically it's turned into FIFA.
It's just instead of financial takeover, just
Man, speaking of financial takeover, Sal dropped a bomb. I don't know if we'll get in that specifically tonight. If Sal is around, we should.
Did I miss it? When did he drop said bomb?
An hour or so ago in the Discord, and you got ChatGPT to explain all this financial stuff to a bunch of dummies, and it made a whole lot of sense.
Dude, he actually did that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so there is that. There's all kinds of wacky news this week. Weird, wacky, exciting, interesting, thought-provoking. But Dash, I mean, we've delayed enough.
We have.
Yeah,
all right,
hot Genoa salami.
Let's talk about some Genoa salami. So we've got Genoa tomorrow morning, which is going to be it's like the Red Wings right now. Please win. All I want, just win. It's like, we're poking the dead corpse of Juve for the past couple of weeks. We're just like, do something, please.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, I do kid, right? I mean, it's not like, we're an utter catastrophe. It's just, Milan is ahead of us by a point for second place. But it's going to be a 3-5-2 versus a 3-5-2.
Oh,
let's go with what Allegri's thoughts. And I believe this is the last win before the international break.
yes.
Last win, last game. See, I'm ready.
But that's fine because the Australian GP is next weekend, and we'll do that instead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you and the German Dave will be there tomorrow to cover the Genoa.
Yes, that's right. We shouldn't mention that. German Dave, he's part of the crew now. We brought him on. He is committed to the cause, and my schedule is going to be getting busier as well. Not that his isn't busy, but between all of our busy schedules, we can hopefully become one.
Yes.
So yeah, David is going to be doing the watch along with me tomorrow morning.
And
Genoa salamis.
We also have a social media manager.
That is correct.
So yeah.
I haven't asked her permission to say her name yet or anything.
Yeah,
I should probably do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have social media, which means
just call it the social media manager.
Yes.
That's what we'll call it for right now.
Yes. No bullshit, guys. Our Twitter is doing things. So for actually DintheDouble Sports. That's it. At DintheDouble Sports. I mean, all the other ones were taken, so I had to go DintheDouble Sports. Do it up. Instagram is being a bastard. The whole business, I don't know, meta. It's like you have to get Instagram, but you have to do Facebook, but you got to go to WhatsApp because they're all the same thing. They just want to make you part of their massive algorithm and suck the living soul out of you. Fuck you, Instagram and meta. All right, let's get into the presser.
So in regards, I think the last thing that we'll probably need is, anyone that wants to. We've had editors that have reached out to us that want to edit our stuff, but for when it comes to editing, Dave and I want someone that's actually a fan of the show, that watches the show.
Basically, we don't want a guy from India that just skims the internet for cheap work. No, I'm not even trying to be racist. They are all from India. Just for whatever reason, that's where they come from. I got nothing against them. I appreciate that they're trying to put a hustle out and try to make a few bucks, but you're not get those few bucks from me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Unless you're a legit fan.
For us, when we're looking at the shorts or the short video or the clip gang, it's we'd rather have someone that's a fan of the show, that listens to the episodes, that listens to the shows, that's hey, this might be good clip material. And then, either notify us or you clip it yourself or you request the video and we'll send it to you and whatnot. So if there is a shorts individual that is a fan of the show that wants to do it, that wants to because honestly, the whole objective of this channel is we're a community driven channel. For example, the articles that Dave and I cover for the Tinfoil Hat Show or even news articles is all generated or brought to us by the community that we have in Discord. It's whether it's Sal, whether it's Vlad, whether it's German Dave, whether it's KB, whether it's Bones, whether it's
Frankie.
It's a bunch of
Tal,
folks there.
everyone.
Tall,
There's so many.
everybody. So
Isak, Goose.
because we're not like, for example, we're not a news channel. We're not here to relay the news or break news or anything like that, unless we find it being worthy to sit down and talk about. This is more so just a public square where a bunch of people come together and put things together and just say, hey, look, this is anything we want to cover: wrestling, Formula One, Juve, the whole 9 yards. So
It's sports.
Sports.
We'll do sports in general. Whatever vibes does well with the algorithm, whatever you guys want, we will do it. And the editor is the missing slice of pizza to our pie. So
yeah,
that's it.
and then
If you're out there.
And then obviously, we do have ideas where, like, for example, we'll bring in more folks to cover more stuff because, Dave and I, we've been in full time in this for a while. So it'll be cool to get some extra hands that'll be able to take some
Just different
hours.
opinions, different thoughts, points of views, all that stuff.
Because we're kind of boring and annoying. So
Apparently, yeah. Speaking of boring and annoying, Mr. Massimiliano Allegri, we keep on just diverting. Just do
let's
it.
just get to the stupid thing, right? All right. So Allegri urges Juventus to deliver the win before the international break. So Juve have won only one of their last 7 league matches, losing to 3. Allegri wants Juventus to get their rapidly derailing Serie A season back on track against Genoa on Sunday before the international break gives their title rivals a chance to breathe. Juve have won only one of their last 7 league matches, losing 3 in the last weekend's 2-2 home draw with Atalanta, allowing Milan to take over, become Inter's closest title contenders. God, that's so fucking terrible when you read it. They're like, we're competing for who's going to be the Inter sloppy seconds.
Yeah, that's what it is at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting.
Past couple seasons now.
At least they lost against Atletico. Fucking losers.
There was that. A lot of us felt good.
We celebrated. Next opponents, Genoa, have been less than impressive than away and home. The Bianconeri head coach Allegri hopes this offers his team an opportunity to put the match to bed, make a statement before his players disappear at international duty. He told the press, "We've had a good week. We all understand the period that we're going through. We've decided to stay together as a team for one more evening. So pillow fights and sleepovers."
Jesus.
Knowing that we need to get back on track, we have goals to reach, and we know that tomorrow's importance. In the last few games, we haven't given up many chances, but we have conceded a shit ton of goals. How does that work? We haven't given up many chances, but we've conceded a lot of goals.
Well, yeah, because, for instance, the XG of last match was like almost nothing. So, like, the actual chances, they would just get a goal out of nowhere kind of situation.
So
that's essentially
that's what it is. You have been playing against Randy Orton for the last 2 months. Motherfucker hits an RKO out of nowhere. Coop Miners with a goal out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Coop
KO. Right. At times this can happen. We must improve defensively as a team, not just as an individual. Some mistakes that we need to resolve, and we're working on it. On the selection, the 2-scan. Boss said we're without Milik. Milik hurt his adductor because he was clapping cheeks too hard the night before.
Why is it? Or is it an abductor?
Perin DeCilio are back. It's because you're overextending. We have our forwards like Keane back, who looked absolutely dog shit against Atalanta, but
He
hopefully
wasn't even there.
Yeah, it was bad. Rabiot does not have 90 minutes in the tank. Having him is a positive, though. Genoa head to the Allianz after 2 straight defeats. First to Inter, 3-2 by Monza. Head coach Gigliardino is a former Milan Parma striker. He told the reporters Allegri is a very good manager. Juve have a very strong squad of world-class players. Can you tell me who these world-class players are besides like 2?
It depends on what your definition of world-class is,
Yes.
right? So, like, Rabiot would be considered one. Tech.
Is he? That's interesting.
Yeah, so world-class, the way I look at it is somebody that would make their national team, where your national team is maybe, I don't know, let's say an arbitrary top 50 or something. Like, you're talking about Italy's, Belgium's.
I would say top
25, 20, yeah. something like that, right? Because you have to include, I'd have to look through the list, right? You have Brazil, probably even Mexico makes the list, right? If you're on it,
I think more of the story, it's subjective, right?
It is subjective, yeah. And it's just, he's saying that they're better. Their squad is better than most in the league.
Yes. No, that's for sure. They've won a lot, and they are on an arc of improvement with lots of young stars coming alongside plenty of experienced quality players. I ask, who again. They started the season with favorites to win the title this year. Yeah, and then 2 people got suspended. They're a difficult team to go up against. They have players who can change the game at any moment, but as we saw in the first game, what counts is that we can do it out on the pitch. We need to maintain great balance, pay more attention to the fine details so we can maximize what the team and the individual players are trying to do. And that is
That's Max.
that's Max and Salami.
I hope we get like. Have you seen how like Salami actually comes like in full form? I'm sure you have.
You
It's
mean
like-
see how meat comes?
It comes in like
It comes in your face?
it's like a couple of feet long.
You're holding it like this, and you're like, it's coming.
It's coming. It's a
it's
couple.
coming.
That's what I want. I want a big salami. Stick. I
What
want to beat him with a big salami.
What are you
stick.
doing with the hand motion?
Big
Dave,
salami.
you're going like that.
All right. So into the lineups.
Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so we got Szczesny, Tech, Danilo, Bremer, and Gatti. And then we have Kostic, Rabiot, Locatelli, McKennie, and Cambiaso. And then we have Vlahovic and Chiesa starting at the top. And then for Genoa, we have Martinez, De Winter, Bani, and Vasquez with Frenderup, Messias, Baldelli, and Malinowski, Spence, Gudmansson, and Retegui. Oh, Retegui's back. Interesting. Didn't know he was back. So 3-5-2. I mean, if you've learned anything from the first time we played Genoa's going to sit back and force you to make mistakes and hit you on the counter. They're a set play very, very low block counter team. So they're the team that counters, forces a set play, either a corner kick or a free kick, and then they try to take their opportunities there. Genuinely, that's how the salami gets plopped on you.
Standard 3-5-2. They're just not quite as good at it.
Yeah, obviously you're going to want to look out for Gudmansson and
I think we
Kostic.
are looking out for him. He's one of those
I mean,
names.
They want to buy him. They want to buy some Gudmansson. Malinowski always, for some reason, turns up when he plays against Juve, so Malinowski is going to be that. This game, again, it's going to be...
Malinowski last time should have got murdered for what he did.
Yes, he said he should have. So he is a bad guy. So when we're looking at this, right, the key to this game is how Locatelli is able to dictate this game. Last game against Atalanta was not good. He needs to be able to transition play. Obviously, Chiesa needs to be a good boy and play centrally, right? Instead of, hugging the touchline like he always does. And LJJ says, Dave, you never forgive, huh?
That was
Dave
dangerous.
holds a
Was that
grudge.
not like Yildiz? I think that was Yildiz's first start.
I don't think it was
Yeah.
a start. He subbed in.
His
He-
very first appearance then is what it was. Yeah. And then like a couple minutes later, he just comes high cleats and no call.
He nearly blew his ankle out. That's how
Yeah.
rough that was.
No,
Like,
that guy can get
was-
fucked, man. And
That
so
is-
could that ref. They can both
Oh,
get
yeah.
fucked.
Oh, absolutely. What was it? Massa. It was Massa that was reffing
Yeah,
that game. And
Davide
you torched him.
fucking
you
Massa.
torched Massa for that.
Was that the game?
That was the game, and
That
then you
was
went
the
on
game.
the
That
you
was
went
the
on the
game.
Massa rant.
I always hated him, but that it's like turned it up to 11.
Yeah, well, it was like, so when we look at this, right, though I am happy with McKennie's performance, my concern is that you cannot have McKennie be your main creative outlet guy. Like, it's the honest truth, right?
No.
McKennie getting assists and goals, that's like, icing and cherry on the cake, where it's like, Locatelli is the fucking cake. Like, I need Locatelli to dictate play. I need Locatelli to take control of the midfield. Not have Bremer and Gatti dribble forward through the midfield. That to me is one of the biggest frustrating things I've seen recently. And I need, and this is where it's on Allegri, man. Either you get Locatelli out of there, or you find a way to get this, because this is where I get a little bit frustrated with Max, right? Where Max doesn't like to really give direction to the guys on where to be and how to do it, right? He trusts them to have the IQ and the intelligence to do it themselves. But like when you have Chiesa that's absolutely hugging his cheeks to the touchline, it gets to the point where I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what is the point of doing what you're doing right now? And it's the same thing with Locatelli, where like Locatelli becomes this auxiliary center back when he's not being involved in the play, and it's like, dude,
Well, he's
take the ball
covering.
and
Like
facilitate.
he goes back with the Bremer as
I
whatever
know,
left
but
and right center back goes
the
bombing up.
but think about it though, right? Like, why would you have Bremer take the ball forward instead of Locatelli, right?
Yeah, no, that is a good point. Yeah.
Like, okay, Gotti can get away with it, right? You know, you can get away with Gotti doing it because he's got McKennie, and if Cambiaso starts on the right, Cambiaso's right there. But it's just like, I think about stuff like that, and I just look at Loca, and I'm like, dude, did we get duped by Sassuolo?
You could argue that we
I think
probably overpaid.
Overpaid is
but
100% right.
we're saying that in hindsight because the market has changed so much since because the whole COVID situation, right? So at the time it didn't seem ridiculous.
Maybe we're just high off the euro. I think that's probably what it was.
And there
right?
was that, and there was the whole we didn't have to pay for a couple years, so like the way we amortized it worked on the books well. It wasn't the worst.
Like, it just for me, what I find concerning is that there hasn't been too much development from him in the last 3 years that we've had him. Like, his defensive game is fine, right? But like, to me, Locatelli will forever be that fourth man, or the fourth option.
Yeah, I think where he has grown is because he's been put in that more defensive role. Is he was a lot more leaky when he was first put there. Like he wasn't as strong. He didn't have that same grinta, that same drive, and maybe a bit less technicality in the defensive phase. Not that I'm saying he's made like leaps and bounds. He's just kind of tightened things up a little bit. So
Yeah.
he's improved. He's improved, but it hasn't been drastic.
And I could be right. Like, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, right? Just kind of like how Vlad's saying here. But I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know for sure. It's just I don't see that much adjustments outside of the defensive aspect from it. And it's just like, I keep hearing like, oh, well, he's being played out of position. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if you're out of position or not. If you have vision, you either have it or you don't.
But
You either have field
he is
IQ or
playing
you
a
don't.
he's playing a center back though. Like it's so hard for him to. I think his duties are so heavily weighted on the defensive phase coming from Allegri that he's handcuffed so much.
So here's let me push back on that, right? Where if he was that, that five that could control the tempo or manage the game, he doesn't need to interchange with center backs.
But he's not really.
I know, but
That's the thing. It's unfortunate. Everyone just wants to see him play as an actual number 8 and see what happens.
I just want him to do well. I don't care if he's
Sure.
playing as an 8, a 6, a 7, a 10, or D's nuts. I mean, I just want him to do well.
We want a regista is what it is. We want a true regista. And we're not getting that until we pick up Jorginho.
So, because for example, and Vlad's talking about Inter here, Inter center backs can play with the ball.
Changalolu, but he's also having like an absolute
Scorcher
year.
of a season.
Yeah. And he's locked in. And he is, if you want to like have no debate what a world-class player is, he is a world-class player. And that's why I say like he plays for Turkey. Is Turkey like a world-class team? No, but they do have a couple world-class players, right?
Yeah,
so that's why I kind of
because, for example, Chanalogu can do a penetrating ball from the center back position. Like, he could easily penetrate a ball into space from the center back position. Like, I've seen him do it plenty times. Where it's like, for example, he'll be deep and Bastoni's overlapping and running to the other edge of the box, and he hits him with it. But, for example, that's the difference between Inter and us. Like, they're center backs. Yeah, Chanalogu started off as a 10 in Frankfurt and then in Milan, and then he transitioned to a 5.
Yep. Yeah, he's just kind of, as he aged, he's just dropped back a little bit.
He just dropped back deeper. Because, for example, Bastoni's younger, has more pace, can dribble a little bit better than Danilo, right? And then the same thing you could argue about Pavard. Pavard was playing as a fullback at one point before he turned into a center back. So,
he's a wide center back, right? So he's still
Inter have the capabilities where they're able to throw a Mkhitaryan or to throw a Barella or a Chanalogo into the back, because it's just Inter's team isn't because Inzaghi's an amazing coach. It's more so that Beppe Morata built a very versatile staff of players
and very balanced as well.
Exactly. because it's like that's when you look at versatility right now, where it's like, for example, with us, it's like you look at some of our players and it's almost like they have a single MO or a single item that they can do really good, and then that's it. Right? Like for
And that's
example,
why we can get past the round of 16, just like Inter can't get past the round of 16.
they fumbled that game so bad. They fumbled that game so bad. They were up 2-0.
They were bad. They didn't look great.
They were up 2-0 on aggregate.
It was 1-0. It was 1-0.
Well, they won at home. They won at home 1-0, and then they scored first against Athletic.
Yeah, but the away goal rule doesn't exist anymore. So
No, I know, but you're still up 2-0.
no, it was 1-1. They went to penalties.
No, it was 2-1 when they went to penalties. Dave, I think you're sick too long.
Whatever.
Inter as I say, Inter won the first leg 1-0, and then Athletic did a 2-1.
Yeah, okay, so it was 2-2. Yeah, it was
2-2,
tied. Yeah. Okay,
but,
yeah.
I think like for them, it's just more so. It's just they have versatile players, like because like I was seeing that like some guy made a video on Instagram saying how Inzaghi's tactics are revolutionizing Inter and this, and I'm like, no, it's not. Because, like,
but it's so easy to make, like, it's a football video. You just have to go, oh, look, blah, blah, blah. And then
look at this guy, absolute masterclass from Inzaghi. It's like, no, Inzaghi
there's simps everywhere. I was playing an online game today, and I saw, like, Messi 10 whatever as a username. Like, fucking simp.
Helldivers?
No, it was Skull and Bones, which is...
Skull and Bones.
Yeah. It's one of those games that everyone hates, but I somehow enjoy it, so... is what it is.
Yeah, it's like because you look at Inzaghi. He did the same shit at Lazio, and it didn't pan out like he's doing with Inter. You want to know why? Because two things: his sporting director sucked ass, and his team didn't want to put the players around him. At Inter, he's got a great ass sporting director and the ability to have players that come in and do what they do. Right? It's not Inzaghi being an amazing coach because I sent that image earlier to the social media manager for her to post about who has the better coaches. Do we want to talk about that, or do we? I think because we're good on Genoa, right? So we can.
I just put the link in because it is just past the half-hour mark. I gave you an extra couple minutes today too.
Oh, you're so nice, so nice, so kind.
So yes, kind. If anybody does feel like calling in, the lines are certainly open, and we can discuss whatever it is y'all like. But until somebody actually shows up, we're just gonna talk bullshit. No, there's that didn't sound.
Oh, speaking of that,
welcome
the guy. He's back.
Been so long.
He's back.
What's up, fellas?
It's good to have you back.
You know what? Since we have you here,
yeah.
Do you want to touch on the Chat GPT stuff you sent us?
Yeah. So basically, and the only reason I found this out is because I own Juventus stock. And I got an email on Friday from my broker saying that there was some action that I needed to take. So I went in, I looked at all the particulars, and then I was like, oh, so basically it looks like Juventus is issuing more shares. So not to get too into the weeds with the finance. So basically, when it made sense, right? Because obviously Exor has given them a cash infusion, right? And this is kind of the mechanics of how they do it. So for a public company, there's really two ways you can raise funds. You can either issue shares, you can issue more shares, right? Or you can take on debt, right? So a bond. You can issue a bond, you have a coupon, you have a maturity date, right? 5-year or what have you. And then you use that money and you put it back into the organization. So really what they did was they issued more shares. And what I call him Daddy Elkin now. So basically what happens is Exor is going to, they're acting like a backstop, right? So it's, so basically what they're doing is it sucks for people who already own the stock, because basically what's happening is your ownership share gets diluted because there's more shares out in the market. So that's what happened to me. And unfortunately, what also happened to me is because I'm a US investor in this stock. I am not allowed as a US investor to actually exercise. So I can't take in more of the shares that they're offering. I'm basically forced to sell at a discounted price. So it is what it is, right? That's what happens when you invest in the stock market. Luckily, at least I can recoup a decent amount of it, you know, at whatever the current price is. So that's what happened. So they did like first stock split and all this stuff. So I basically, you know, I have ChatGPT with my job, and what I did was I put it in there and I basically said, for in layman's terms, can you please explain, you know, the mechanics of what's going on here? And for some reason, it chose a garden as a it chose a garden scenario. So yeah, if any Discord and they want to kind of see what's going on, if they're interested in the mechanics of it, it's in I think it's in the news channel.
Yep, you've got it
Yes.
in the news transfers channel.
Which means I now have to put up the big old barcode here for you all to scan. Scan that, guys, and I'll get you into the Discord. Yeah, Discord's fun. There's a lot going on there. All kinds of news, just nonsense, food. German Dave made bolognese sauce with andouille because he didn't have any ground pork, and he said it was delicious. So, I mean, there's everything, a bit of everything. And financial courses as well.
Yeah. You ever kind of wondered, like, hey, so they're saying that, you know, they're going to do some cash infusion, right? It's not really just like Alkin drops a bag of money off, you know, at the Cantonasa and as to, you know, June Tilly and stuff, like, go do your thing, right? There is sort of mechanics around that. And really what's happening in the end is the shares that are getting issued, actually Exor is going to have a larger ownership stake in Juve. When it's
That's
all
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost a way to consolidate his power.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's tricky.
So, yeah.
I like it.
So if anybody was thinking if they were going to sell the club or anything, doesn't look like it. Right?
Nope.
No, absolutely
Nope.
not.
Yeah. So and like I said, they're there to Alkin and Exor are there to pick up whatever's left. So basically, Juventus is going to get a majority of the money that they're looking for to balance. It's, you know, unfortunately, I don't think a lot of this is going to go towards transfer market. It's going to be more towards
Sustainability.
the books, right? Getting
Absolutely.
in a good spot with financial fair play or what have you. It's cleanup, right? So like when the board got dissolved and they brought on more people, it was accountants, it was lawyers, and this is basically why, right? Because this stuff isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. So they're getting the house in order, and then, you know, luckily now we have Club World Cup money coming in, and honestly, it looks like I think I might even posted it yesterday or the day before in the Discord, the updated coefficient rankings for that fifth spot.
Yes, you did. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, you've been busy.
97% chance of getting one of those two spots. Germany's pretty low. I think they're like high
16.1. Okay, so here it is Italy's 94.6, England 88.1, Germany 16.1, France 1.2. So it's pretty much going to Italy and England.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me throw this out there, because like my issue is, like, I hate having teams like, for example, Lazio go into the Champions League because of that stuff. Like that to me irritates me, because it's just like, so give you guys context. So my dad and I are watching the Barcelona Napoli game, right? And he was telling me, he's like, you know, if Napoli win, Italy's almost all but secured the fifth Champions League spot. And I told him, F them. He's like, really? I'm like, I don't care if Serie A burns to the ground at this point. Like, I don't. I'm like, what do they need another spot for? What, to get Fiorentina, to get Lazio or Roma into the Champions League? For them, what, to be a quick exit? Like, what?
What's
the point of having it?
This year maybe Juve if they don't we might actually need it this season.
Thiago Motta is going to be doing the Champions League next year, either for us or them. So
yeah. Could you imagine though? Like, I hate to be an asshole, but could you imagine how embarrassing it would be for Serie A if Bologna takes a Champions League spot?
You know, it was kind of, I don't know. I don't think I'd have as much of a problem with Bologna than, like you said, like a Lazio, because they're just jokes. But
yeah.
You know, I do remember Atalanta that one year.
yeah, it's the same thing.
They made it to the quarters. Actually, they had a pretty, and they were a couple of minutes away, I think, from being in the semis, and that was a great story.
It was a great story. Nobody even knows what Atalanta means. It's a dumb name. At least Bologna. People know Bologna. But Atalanta's a Greek goddess, by the way. I had to look it up because I didn't know what the fuck it meant.
Because like the thing that kind of like made me feel like fine about Atalanta back then was because, like, for example, They were like, look, this isn't going to be a fluke. We're going to try to build a sustainable European contending, Atalanta side where Atalanta, whether it's Europa League or Champions League, we're going to be in one of the two competitions, barring anything catastrophic. And they have. Like, for example, Atalanta have delivered. Like, for example, there hasn't been a European competition that Atalanta has been involved in where they haven't, gotten out of the group or gotten sent home early. They haven't. In Europa League, they've either gone to the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. Champions League, round of 16 or quarterfinals. Like, I think Atalanta is fine. Fiorentina, I'm fine leaving them in the Conference League. Like,
That's good for them.
That's good for them. They can stay there. They're consistently out of the round of 16 into the quarter or semifinals. They can raise the Italian coefficient there. I'm perfectly fine with that. I think Roma, in my opinion, should stay in the Europa League, work in the Europa League, and do their thing. Atalanta and Roma are going to be two Europa League teams because they have the capabilities of beating the Champions League dropouts and whatever competition is within the Europa League. That's why I think those two fit that mesh well. Obviously, for us, it's going to be us, Inter, and then Milan is your third. I think those are going to be your three main staple Champions League teams, to be honest with you.
And they kind of traditionally are.
And they traditionally are, right? And Lazio should never grace European competition as long as Lotito's their owner.
And you know what? I do love seeing AC Milan in Europa League because that's honestly where they should have been.
Yes.
This year. So, and the fact that they might actually, help out Juve, just this year is it makes me, it's pretty funny. I mean, honestly, Liverpool's winning. It would take a massive disaster for Liverpool to not win the Europa League.
Yes, unless Leverkusen meets Liverpool, and that'll be. I think that might be.
That would be good.
Because here's the thing, like Leverkusen was down 2-0 again, and they somehow found a way to turn that around, which I thought was wild. Both legs, they were down 2-0.
And I am a little upset that I'm going to have to root for a Prem team so Arsenal. I think is Borussia Dortmund, right?
Uh-huh.
So, and if Dortmund goes out, that's pretty much it for Germany, right?
Yeah.
And you just kind of hope that Real finds a way through Man City just to lower their coefficient a little bit. So right now I'm just playing the coefficient.
I just want Real to go through Man City.
Yeah,
I do. I just kind of want them to beat City.
West Ham got paired up with. I think they got a pretty decent tie on their end, but if they went out, that'd be great too, right? So the funny thing is, this has probably been my best Calcio week, and Juve had nothing to do with it.
I know.
That it's been for me from an actual results perspective, which is like I said, it's just kind of what it is. So I don't care. Get that fifth spot. I don't care how Juve does it. The only way Club World Cup really works out for us is if we also get the money for Champions League. You give Giuntoli an actual decent budget to have a real mercado, right? Instead of what we did with this year, where we just brought in Timmy Weah and Alcaraz on a weird deal, and he's probably not barely going to play. He's already hurt. So it's survival this year. Unfortunately, it's kind of where we're at. But like I said, we're going to play how many games next season? What is
71?
Stupid. Yeah, you have to reinforce the squad. There is no choice. There is none. You're probably gonna have some next gen guys, but you're gonna need. You don't want to go into Club World Cup with the squad that you have now. It just you can't. You're just gonna get.
Right? We would look like Lazio in the Champions League.
It's probably even worse.
Yeah.
Stage. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm worried about. And the sad part is, right, and I was talking about this with some other people, there's also Gold Cup going on, I think, at the same time, right? So U.S. is going to be in there, and if for whatever reason we can't have McKennie because he's obligated to play for the U.S. in the Gold Cup.
Doesn't club supersede?
I think
they do. They do, but it could cause very bad relations with the.
I think actually and I could be wrong. So if somebody fact checks me, that's cool. I think the national team takes precedent currently, because I don't think FIFA ever considered doing an event like this where there would be a major confederation thing going on at the same time. So if you're telling Juve, hey, sorry, McKennie is one of your best midfielders and you can't have him, and we don't have decent backups, it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. I'm surprised FIFA didn't I'm kind of not surprised.
Well, you run the issue because I think is Copa America this season or the following summer?
Going on at the same exact freaking
So
time.
it's the actual. So you have the South American teams too, the Brazilians, the Argentinians, and all of them. So that would be holy hell.
Whatever would have to find out what FIFA and UEFA or all the confederations
thing, right? And it's like, and actually CONCACAF is big for FIFA because I don't know if you guys ever watched that Netflix thing on FIFA, like CONCACAF and some of those other ones like AFCON and whatever. They're basically the check against UEFA for FIFA, so they have to keep those guys happy.
Yeah, well, and then if it's involving Combo as well, that's going to throw in all the South American teams, and you've essentially gutted all of your European powerhouses.
So that's what I mean. Like, so I don't know. Hopefully they figure something out between now and then. But like you said, like us not having a McKennie with this squad right now is huge.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's an interesting thought because Beppe today replied on his Telegram to one of the news posts about McKennie's links to England. And this is what Beppe said about it. There is one important factor that Juve will think a lot about before selling West. FIFA Club World Cup will be played in the USA. Having the American will create even more hype and attract a lot of potential new fans, which he's not incorrect. But now the question is, we have to confirm which club or which team takes precedence.
You can't. And like, in all honesty, guys, like, you can't sell McKennie. His versatility, his adaptability, that, like, for example, I was having this discussion with someone last night where they were telling me, like, McKennie doesn't start for a team of, like, a Real Madrid or something like that, and I'm like,
not for Real Madrid, come on.
But here's my thing. I'm like, I kind of disagree because, like, for example, every team has injuries, and McKennie is the first choice off the bench.
Okay, yes. So, if you're talking about that, he's like, he can be a fourth or fifth.
So, like, for example, for me, it's like I view McKennie kind of like the poor man's Camavinga. Because Camavinga plays every single position for Real Madrid as well. So it's like Valverde and Camavinga are essentially that kind of role. They're that role. And it's like, you guys, McKennie, to me, in my opinion, like, McKennie should be untouchable. Because, like, for example, left wing back, right midfielder, left midfielder. If any one of those positions are short, he slots in. He slots in easily.
Yeah, unless there's a massive offer coming from him, it's hard to sell.
It might.
Said it was like 20. His last valuation was like 20 million, which is
I think it's gone up. It's definitely gone up.
Hope, right? You'd hope, especially if the English team comes a calling, right? But in a way, it's like as an American, obviously, right? Like I am at the same time thrilled that he's having such a great season and horrified that he's like our best midfielder, right?
So transfer market last
penny. I'm just saying.
Transfer market updated 4 days ago has him at 25 mil.
Okay,
which is interesting.
Yeah,
but he has steadily gone up since coming back from Leeds.
So, hey, 30, 35, that'd be great. I mean, if you're trying to get 30, 35 for Soleil, right?
Maybe, but just his utility might be worth more than that to us, depending on who we can pick up.
Well, it's kind of like what Vlad's saying, right? Like Real Madrid played the Uruguayan McKennie, Valverde, and that's what Valverde is. Valverde fits anywhere on that 11. Like, he plays anywhere.
I think Beppe might have also said, though, that, I think I might have seen some reports that they're talking about renegotiation, but they would like, same salary and Wes's, entourage is asking for more. So we'll see where we're at with that. But like I said, I mean, hey, what, 50 million for Club World Cup? You got, what is it for Champions League qualification?
80, I think, 80 to 100.
7, I think it's 70.
Yeah. So, I mean, look,
we're getting 70. I think we're getting 70 total just for qualifying to both. And then the deeper you go, the more you get.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, that's you're hoping one skill player out of that, right? Get one skill player, and you're gonna need backups too. And it also depends on if they're gonna switch formation next year, right? Is it gonna be a 3-5-2? Do you want to move to a back four? If you're moving to a back four, who are we gonna pick up? If you're picking up that Calaflori guy and Diallo's gonna hopefully play next year, you can see back four. Right. maybe we can move Locatelli to a double pivot so I don't have to watch what I've seen the last few weeks from him, which have infuriated me. So who knows, right? This is a lot. There's a lot going on there.
Maybe we can finally get Chiesa playing like an actual winger instead of his identity crisis winger that he is.
Yeah.
Christ, if Chiesa keeps doing this, I'm going to call The Rock and have him do a sing-along about Chiesa.
Well, I would love to see it, right? I mean, hey, like, what are you thinking there? You're thinking, for what? You can go 4-2-3-1.
Maybe, but I want Chiesa to stop playing on the left side of the field. Like, just move him to the right. Because he's got terrible vision and he can't invert to save his life.
If they sell Sule, right, I could see Chiesa moving to the right. Like, that's fine.
I don't even think, like, for example, you would need to sell Sule. I mean, I think it's a Chiesa thing, right? Because, like, I don't know who taught Chiesa that he's a left winger, because his best performance has been from the right side of the field. Even against Napoli, he played well. Where was he? On the right side of the field when he played well against Napoli. So it's just like, I don't know. For me, because, like, so I posted it on Discord and I tagged German Dave on it because it was a Chiesa post. Chiesa was essentially saying that, look, any transfer out of Juve is a step down if it's not Bayern Munich, Manchester City, or Real Madrid. I'm like, good fucking luck going to one of those three. They don't want you.
Well, at 40 million, they might take him.
They might, and he won't see the field.
Value sucks for us.
I'm gonna say they won't. He won't see the field.
So I'm taking an angle on that one too, and I think perhaps what it is if he's going to leave Juve, it's only going to be for the best teams. Yeah, that could be it as well. It's not just I'm so good and I deserve Man City.
For 40 million, if that's the going rate for those guys, sure. For a bench player, why not? If he's going to talking about those teams, he's not walk-ons on any of those.
He would do well as a bench player for those kinds of teams because he is injured enough. Like if he's a bench player, he won't be injured as much, right? He probably just like be that guy that you play for like 30% of the minutes, and it's fine.
He's like Moise Keane when he broke out. But
I think we probably need another backup striker though, right? Because Milik's I don't think a long-term solution. And
well, Bellingham is Bellingham realistic?
Well, the brother. I heard Job that got linked to Juve. I don't really know about him, to be honest with you.
That's when you're asking Gentili for a Bellingham, and he's like, "We have a Bellingham at home."
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe having Job there eventually will get his brother to think about it if we ever, like pie in the sky. But yeah, that's not.
And I just looked up his value. It's at 180.
Oh, dude.
Dude, can you imagine him and Mbappe playing together? That's just going to be nasty. Him, Mbappe, and Vinicius.
Midfield's probably close to a $500 million market valuation, right? You got Valverde, you got Bellingham. I mean,
Camavinga, Chouameni.
Yeah, it's $500 million right there.
That's
just in market.
Fuck, man.
You know what? I'm maybe I did get it wrong. Maybe it was Job because I remember.
Job.
Yeah, it's probably Job.
Job.
I just when your brain just like
it
fills in the blanks.
JB for both of them, right? Like, right away, you're not thinking Job, right? So
Well, and that's it. Yeah, your head just kind of fills in the blanks. So that's probably what happened. I'm going back now to try to find that news source because I'm like, I'm probably an idiot, and it was Job.
But think about it: 70 games. 70 games. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna need a deep bench, like. Whether right, and I don't think you can't bring quality in, right? You're going to need quantity, but you're going to need legit people like knowing where they slot in. You're not just going to be able to say, oh, we're going to try this, we're going to try that. Like, I mean, I don't envy him. He's got a lot to consider. It's. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to see a lot more next gen guys. You're going to see a lot more of Nunge. You know what I mean? You're probably going to finally see Hassa Dash, right?
I know. I don't know about Nunge. I don't know if they're going to let him out of the dungeon.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing here, going through the news, just to hit back a little bit. 50 for Club World Cup, 30 for UCL. So that's an 80.
Yeah. And then think about this, right? we free up a lot of salary. No, Sandro's on what, 7?
Yep.
You're
Yeah,
freeing
that's a big
10
one.
Freeing up 10 on Pogba, right?
Yep.
It's not chump change.
Maybe Rabiot,
If you
7
don't-
mil.
Yeah, then that's another what, 7 mil,
Yeah.
right? 7, 8. So you
That's a
got
good-
and for
that's-
Joey's back, right? So you're gonna have some more, depth in the midfield. I'm excited, right? So like I said, at this point now, knowing that Scudetto's whatever, yeah, I do want the Copa for sure, but that only brings in what, 5, 6 mil. I mean, it's just nice to have the guys lift a trophy and know what it's like to get on.
Ah,
The
take
You
the
know?
money, obviously.
Yeah, but it's more that, but like it's Champions League. Now in my mind, I don't care if it's 4th, I don't care if it's 5th, I don't give a shit. Just get me the Champions League money and let's rock for next season. You know,
for sure. I think that makes an interesting question though, that we're gonna have at the summer, right? Because, like, for example, do we renew Rabiot again? Like, is it worth just keeping him, or is it just at this point?
They're looking at the same salary.
Yeah, same salary again. And it's the same thing with Chiesa, right? Gentili wants him to sign the same wage for an additional year.
And there's Kyle George could come back as a depth striker. And
I
Vlad's saying it's Job. It is Job. I do see it now. It's Job.
yeah, I think they want Kyle or even Sule to get one of those deals done for Lookman. Is that who it was? No, Koopmeiners.
Coop.
Yeah.
LJJ surprised that it's only 6 mil for the Copa. Like, you realize that this is
It's
the Fiji, right? Like, it's
broke.
they don't.
They're broke.
There's no money.
Yeah, and then even if we finish top 4, right, I think you're going to get another 60, 70 mil just for finishing in the top 4 from just from the league itself.
Yeah, I think it's 70-ish. First place, I think, is like...
Is 100, I think.
No, it's not even.
It's not?
No, it's like closer to 90.
Closer to 90.
Okay. Yeah, we looked it up a few months ago, and it's like, it's not even 100.
Okay, that's what happens when you get shitty TV rights. So
yeah, and it's gone down for next year as well because we got a shittier TV right.
But think about it like this too: we still have to get a sponsor, right? So you're gonna get infusion in from that. I think Elkin and those guys are out in Saudi Arabia like within the last week or so. Hopefully we'll get something going there because I know we're Adidas is going to pay us a little less this year because we didn't have Champions League or anything like that. But having the Club World Cup and Champions League next year, like that's it. Like that's it. Get the money in. Like let's go.
Yeah. So here it is: 4.5 for the winner, 2 for the runner-up. So the total purse is $6.5 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a nice to have, right? It's like it's a trophy, right? We've gone so long without a trophy. Like having a trophy would be nice. Having some of those young kids know that feeling would be nice, but it's not the end of the world.
It does. And sorry, I am reading more. So I guess you get $3 million for reaching the final. So yeah, okay, it's not that bad. It's actually better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Undecided if I become a Ferrari
there's German.
fan.
German Dave.
What's going on? Good evening. Why are you not a Ferrari fan yet?
I'm fine. Because I always hated goddamn Ferrari, and now my driver I support since 2007 just decided, let's go for 100 million a season.
And I'm like, I hate Hamilton. I don't want him at Ferrari.
Having Schumacher wasn't enough for you?
I absolutely am disgusted with Schumacher, honestly.
Dave's just a hipster when it comes to F1. You're probably like a Williams fan or something.
Oh no, I'm actually a McLaren fan.
Okay, McLaren's not so bad.
Dave's like, he's okay.
It's all right. No, McLaren's okay. You can like them.
my best time in F1 was when Hamilton was at McLaren still.
Okay, so that's why you just got him when he was young.
Yeah, and as a child, I got they presented the 2009 or 10 car with Hamilton and Jenson Button, and I received a signed cap by Hamilton.
Nice. That's cool. Right on.
That's my story.
Cool. Well, we all started with stories today, so I mean, we're good.
So, Now that all four of us are here, I think it's a perfect time to drop this. So you two have already seen this. I threw it in our little private group chat, but I kind of want to open this up for a discussion because, like, for me, the thing that I had an issue with was the coaches that were
Oh yeah.
that they brought in there, and I'm just kind of like, here, let me.
And these are
download
the
it.
kinds of things we're putting on the Twitter, which is why you need to get onto our social medias
You
if you
need
care
to
about that
follow us
stuff.
on the Twitter.
Yes, because we're gonna take these conversations and read out your comments and just have a more communal conversation, right? I know not everyone can get in here, see the live, but at least have your say, and we can catch it and put it up here.
So
With the Spanish coaches, I can't even agree, but man, the Italians.
yeah, so for example, with the Spanish coaches that they picked, like I think it's more so active, right? So it's like it's fair, right? Like for example,
they're
Enrique,
active ones.
Alonso, Guardiola,
Yeah.
Arteta, and Emery. Though I think you could, maybe he's older, Jen, but fuck, who did Liverpool when they beat Milan? I forgot his name.
Benitez. Rafa
Benitez.
Benitez.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rafa Benitez. Though I think they're probably looking at more of the now. The Italian ones, I'm a little bit perplexed in who they picked. Right, Carlo Ancelotti, I think, is a mainstay. Like he's fair. Gasparini,
He should probably not.
Not
Like he's
be on
good,
them?
but he's not at the top of it.
yeah.
I don't know.
De Zerbi to me is like an elephant in a tree. Like how the fuck
He's
is he
just
there?
the hipster pick.
Yeah, because if you're gonna choose these guys, you can start making cases for like an Allegri or a Pioli, for instance, as well, right? Like why does Gasparini get it over the teams that are beating him?
Exactly. And then, if, like, for example, Spalletti as well. Like, why is Spalletti on here?
He's had recent success.
He's just won a Serie A title. That's it.
national team coach too. So
Yeah, that helps.
I can sort of I can see that way more than I can see De Zerbi, because he should be nowhere near there. That's an absolute joke.
And why did they have to use the Inzaghi look that I hate the most?
The
Like
rat
I just
face.
want to put my fist into that
The
fucking
rat
mouth of his.
Oh, they wanted to show the rat's face.
The rat face.
Yeah,
Hate
no.
it.
De Zerbi's an absolute joke. And look, for everybody who likes Gasparini, can I say one thing in terms of Gasparini? We were
Cool.
talking about Atalanta before, right, and how impressive they've been. Can I also say that Atalanta has probably one of the best front offices in Europe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the best for years. They have been they have been fleecing not only just Juve, they've been fleecing the Premier League like you wouldn't believe.
They've beaten Sassuolo as the best fleece market in Serie A.
And you know how I know too, because it's a system, right? Gasparini knows the system. They buy players for the system, very like Beppe Marotta like. But then when they leave, they don't do well.
No.
So for me, like Gasparini, all right, he's a good coach. Like that, I don't think he's that graphic coach. I'd put him before De Zerbi, but neither one of them should be there, right?
I find it.
And then people like who've been upset with Max 2.0. Can I also say that we've had 4 sporting directors basically in 40, 5 years? We've had 4, and our front office has been an absolute mess. And that the people who Allegri are coaching now is basically from that whole era. So I challenge any coach really to try to outperform expectations for this Juve squad. And again, I would also say Gasparini, like if he would have been in the same position as Max is in, would he have performed as well? I'm not convinced. Personally, I'm not. So when you talk about Atalanta, you have to think about well-oiled machine from a management perspective.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put either of those guys there. It's a joke. It's
Well, here's what
Conte's unemployed, so yeah, you don't put Conte on.
I mean, in theory, you could still. He's taking a sabbatical. Like, I mean, he's.
But
sitting
these
out.
are all active. That's the thing. Like this is the right now they're focusing.
Yeah.
on.
Because, like, for example, let's look at this, right? Like, for me, instantly, I would replace De Zerbi and Spalletti with Allegri and Conte. Like, those two automatically supersede those two easily. Because if we want to look at it from the Nazionale, right? If we wanted to have an Italian coach that was the national team, I would rather throw Mancini than Spalletti because at least Mancini won with Italy.
I would rather throw Conte than Spalletti.
Yeah.
Team.
And like, for example, you can have Inzaghi on there as like your wild card, even though he's only won Coppa Italias. He's going to win the league this year, but like it's only one Serie A title. So it's like like Ancelotti gets a pass because Ancelotti's won Champions Leagues with multiple different rosters, with Milan, with Real. It's like he's done it all in a sense. But like I'm just like, if this is what you're considering your best coaching talent in Italy, holy hell! The only thing that would have made me lose my shit is if they put Italiano on this.
Yeah, he would have. He's the next tipster choice in all of it.
De Zerbi. To me, like, did nobody watch how Roma absolutely dismantled Brighton?
Oh yeah, yeah, that was an ugly game.
It is a joke. It is a joke. I hope he coaches Man U. That's where I love to see De Zerbi. Roma, Man U. And
100% like. Oh, sorry, you cut a bit out for me. So, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Blitz comment. Dude, you know how many times that terminology is a hooker now. The best Italian
Inzaghi
team
is not the best coach, is the best Italian team in history this season now.
Yeah.
So where did this come from? Who made this?
I forgot the name of the page, but it was a Twitter page.
IFTV.
No, it wasn't IFTV.
I know.
If it was IFTV, they would have put Palladino. They would have put Italiano. They would have put Pioli.
De Rossi.
De Rossi would be on there. The coach, whoever took over Lazio because they've activated their one free win.
And I think you could even throw Monte in there because even though I think he's Brazilian born, he played for the Italian national team. Yeah. So you could even make that, stretch if you want to. But yeah, De Zerbi's a joke. I don't know who the hell.
Well, that says it's IFTV as well. It looks like one of their graphics.
I just don't get it.
No, it's not them. Ironically, it's not them. I forgot the name. I saw it and I'm like, this might open up a good discussion.
You got triggered.
I got triggered. Because, like, for example, with Spain, Unai Emery is hands down one of the best Europa League coaches in history. Yes. One of the best coaches in the Europa League. Pep Guardiola obviously revolutionized the attacking game. Luis Enrique, again, an understudy of Pep, essentially did the same thing with Barcelona, won a Champions League, made a dominant MSN roster.
But the Spain national team,
yep. Was a Federico Bernardeschi penalty away from making the Euro final.
Oh man.
How does it feel, Luis Enrique? You got eliminated by Federico Bernardeschi.
Jesus. Yeah,
he's my hero.
Alvaro for missing the PK for us. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Had to get it.
I think maybe like the only question marks you could have is Arteta and Alonso, but I think like for example, they're both doing it with they're both succeeding. Like for example, Arteta's succeeding with fucking Arsenal of all teams, right? Like that's
against Manchester City and Liverpool.
Yeah, like that's a feat in itself. Yeah. Where it's like, for example, Alonso's taken that Leverkusen team and absolutely just curb stomping everybody with it.
Yeah.
Like that. Like all of those Spanish coaches deserve to be on that graphic. Where it's like, for example. Gasperini had those 2 seasons in the Champions League, and then after that, Atalanta's kind of stagnated. Where it's like the question is do they need a prime Zapata? Do they need a prime Gomez and a prime Ilic to really become that team how they once were, or is it tactics? Right? Again, De Zerbi to me is just he's a diversity hire at this point in this image. Like that's what he's there for. Like nothing else. And then Spalletti, again, for creating the best team, according to IFTV, in Italy. He's on there, even though he didn't really create much. It was just remnants, per se. And then Inzaghi. For me, it's like... Go ahead.
Max should be on there.
I think Max should be on there. I think Conte should be on there.
I can see how you can give Inzaghi the nod on that one because he made it to the Champions League finals last year. He's running away with the title this year. But
honestly, not against Max. Like if I had to take somebody out, I would even take Gasperini out before I take out Inzaghi or
Yeah.
any of these, because at least like Inzaghi made the Champions League final last year. He's first in Serie A right now. Like, what did Gasperini do except off qualifying for the Champions League?
He does
For
well
me,
with a
that
budget team.
yeah, but for me that
He's 2 minutes away from
doesn't
PSG.
for
2
me
minutes.
for me that doesn't qualify as one of the top 5 Italian coaches.
No, and that's fair, right? That's for sure.
Like Spalletti wants something at least. I think you can. Okay, he's arguable. You can put him there. I would, but like to have Max out of that list is honestly just disrespectful.
I think Arteta won the FA Cup and the Community Shield.
Notice how Xavi didn't even make it
Yeah,
under?
but also
That no Xavi in the.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
but
right? He's a
he's
tactician.
not a
Wizard.
good coach, man.
He's terrible. He is Pirlo. He is honestly the Spanish Pirlo. Like if Pirlo was Spanish and coached a team in Spain,
I mean, honestly, I would put Sarri on there before I would put.
I would put Sarri on there. I would put Sarri on there before Inzaghi. As unpopular as that sounds, I would put Maurizio Sarri over Inzaghi. Won a Serie A title, won a European Championship. Why not? Like, why not? He did.
Arteta has 2 Premier League titles, an FA Cup, and 2 EFL Cups. That's just
Yeah,
Man
but
City.
That's his playing.
as a player,
Finish with Sarri.
Oh, that was I said as a coach. Fuck. Google,
Same-
you suck.
I can't remember. No, Conte won with Chelsea. What did Sarri do with them?
Sarri
He has
took him
one
to the
FA
Europa
Cup.
League. He won the Europa League with Chelsea.
He won the Europa League with Chelsea. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's done it in different spots. Like De Zerbi didn't do shit in Serie A, and he's doing shit in the Premier League. Yet he's on that graphic.
He won the Ukrainian Super Cup, guys.
Is that what he did?
He's officially goated status. You know,
the crazy thing about De Zerbi, honestly, if he doesn't score at least 3 or 4 goals per game, he loses the game all the
Yeah.
time.
every single time. Every single time.
Le-
That's how bad he is defensively. He can't organize a defense to save his life.
Roma carved him up.
Everybody's carving them up. Like 18th place Luton
Luton
or
Town.
what it was, beat them 4-0.
He should
Yeah.
go if he's going to stay there. Go to Tottenham. Be one of those guys. Like, yeah. So it's a joke. I mean, it really is. And you know, it's funny for you know, I was having some chats about Max in particular, and you know, everybody was talking about, you know, him leaving, hopefully, you know, and what have you, and you know, even if they wanted to let him go last year. Just some financials on this one. Max makes $7 million a year net, not to count his coaching staff. If you let go of Max, and let's say we're talking about next year, if you let go of Max, you're probably going to be, that's like maybe 10 to 12 million, unless he signs somewhere else, right? And then you can say, okay, we don't have to. But it's like 10 to, like, we can't afford 10 to 12 million. You know, like, it is what it is. Even with next year, like 10 to 12 million is a decent player, you know, a decent bench player. It's squad depth. So, like, he has 1 year left on his contract. Igor Tudor, right? If for everybody who's on the Tudor train,
Is anybody on the Tudor train?
I'm sure there's a few. Sure,
Probably a couple.
and
I just read a Reddit post or one more option is off the table for a new manager. I'm like, Tudor wasn't an option, man. What are you saying?
But even if you wanted to, right? Like, I think Lazio's a good spot for him. I'd like to see. So his contract is for the rest of this season and then next season. If he has a decent showing with Lazio, right, and it's right around the time Max's contract is up, and they still don't want to splurge, or there's no big coaching options like available, like, I take him over Italiano. I take him over De Zerbi. I put him probably on the same thing as Mota, right? I'm kind of like, except Tudor's an actual Juventino and Mota wasn't into this stuff. So if you want to use that as a tiebreaker, right? So that's fine. But for me, like, keep Matt, like, and if you want to bring in like a Palladino, right? For if that's another hipster pick, you're going to want to bring in Palladino when we have to play 70 games next year. Like, you have to understand, you need a coach who knows how to rotate players.
Who's
right?
done it before? Who has played at least like the 50-game season?
Exactly. And who's doing that? From the crop that I'm hearing, right? From the crop.
Conte.
Don't get me wrong. If you're telling me I can have Simeone next, ciao, Max. Thanks, appreciate it. Chuck up the deuces, like let's go.
You rather have Simeone?
I would love Simeone.
He's like the same guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's like he will actually like punch somebody in their face though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Oh, Diego.
The master
Diego.
of the master of the dark arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Diego
Coach-
Simeone.
Yeah, I'm talking. You know, like that, or like you know, we're not gonna get a Deschamps because he's gonna stay until the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even like I take a Tuchel over a lot of these guys.
Oh no,
I wouldn't take
no.
a Tuchel.
But over who?
Tuchel is way too toxic. You can't just throw him in a team like you that is like so keen on watching their image and everything. Like he fits a club like Chelsea where he can run his mouth a bit, or like some club of that caliber, but he doesn't fit a club that is like a serious club that tries to run a serious business. He gives like very aggressive interviews and everything that completely wouldn't work with us, and it also doesn't work with Bayern, you know.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if anybody's more corporate than Juve, it's Bayern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can, but what I'm saying is, I would take him over the crop that is. I take him over the Paladinos. I take him over the Tudors. I take him over the De Zerbis. I would take him over the Italianos, right? Like, that's the thing with me. It's like, I'm not like I'm so in love with Max that he can't go. But when I'm hearing the names that I'm hearing, no. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't with any.
No, they are all names that are work in progress, that you have to build a project again around them, and it will take longer again. Like the only sure thing that gives you the base performance we have now are coaches like you said, Conte, or maybe even Motta, although he wouldn't give you like the tactical change everybody wants. But I think those are the only ones that give you like the same floor, at least, you know.
Yeah,
Maybe somebody out of them has a higher ceiling, but it's not a sure thing.
Right. And say what you want about Tuchel, right? Obviously, this year, nobody saw Leverkusen coming. So they're not going to win, you know, they're not going to win the Bundesliga, but they are in the Champions League quarterfinal.
Yeah.
And they got a good
and honestly, I think they will beat Arsenal even.
Yeah.
Bayern is the team that you don't want to play in these scenarios. No, it doesn't matter how shit they are. Like the next week they go out and can beat you 7-0 or something like that.
So I do have breaking news. Hate to cut you guys off. So breaking news from ESPN: the Bears are trading Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 6th round, and it goes to a 4th round pick.
Oh my god!
Based on minutes played.
Oh my god!
So Chicago is getting Caleb Williams.
Is that good?
That's
is
good
for
for
a Detroit
Chicago,
fan.
honestly.
It's fantastic. If you're a Detroit fan, I hope they take
for
Caleb.
Chicago, but man, I don't know what Pittsburgh is doing.
They've got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
I don't know why the hell the Eagles traded for Kenny Pickett, because he's shit anyways. I don't even want him as our backup QB. And I think we traded him for just a pick swap or something like that for the 105th pick or whatever. And
Kind of happy with the Lions free agency now with all the moves that are going through, because I think it was quiet, but it was, you know, pieces that we needed.
So Vlad's saying Mott's signing doesn't make sense. It makes sense if Allegri wants to quit.
Yes.
I don't want to get rid of Allegri. I think it's dumb because I don't think there's any better option, especially with what's coming down
It's
the
like,
line.
did you not see the graphic? Everything sucks.
Everything sucks. Life sucks. You suck. Go fuck yourself. It all sucks.
Just go to fucking Spain. Get a Spanish coach. That's the savior of everybody's problem at this point.
Yeah, and that's true. Our next coach likely will be a downgrade unless it happens in a year or two from now and things change. So,
well, that's what I mean. If we have a decent showing next year, right? If we have a decent showing here in Club World Cup, if we can make some noise in the Champions League, get the profile of the club back up to what we're accustomed to, that can be something that a more established coach can think like, I can work with that. I can do that. If Max decides, hey, that this last 4 years was enough for me and I'm out. Like, we shouldn't be a proving ground anymore, unfortunately. Like,
ironically, I think Allegri retires after he leaves Juve.
It wouldn't shock me. I'd love to see him on a national team.
Yeah. I'd like to see him do a couple years there.
I'd love to see that. That's really where I hope he winds up.
The question for me is, has the media and all these all the people that are questioning him and all the Allegri out, hasn't that scorched the earth a bit around him?
Short memories. If he does well, then he's good again.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
could you imagine?
but in the court of public opinion, he doesn't do well. That's the problem.
Well, but if he does, the court of public opinion has the memory of a goldfish. So,
could you imagine though if Allegri won the Euro and the World Cup back to back with Italy? Could you imagine just the poetic justice that would bring?
Yeah, but honestly, he would be an incredible tournament coach. Imagine with shithousing himself with his Allegri ball, just 1-0 the whole way through.
Oh, I think it'd be great.
He's an incredible tournament coach.
And it's kind of like a similar profile of Conte. Like, give him 1 month, give him one objective. It's like, these are your guys. This is what you have to do. This is all you have to worry about. Like, let's roll.
We'll give you Jorginho.
Yeah, he might still, unfortunately, be on the team because also, like, the problem is too, if you're looking at these recent call-ups for, like, it's not a big Juve footprint, right? It really isn't. Cambiaso finally just got a call-up. Chiesa got a call-up because the guys behind him, you've never heard of most of them, right? There is nobody.
I saw a joke. They're like, great to see Chiesa learn from the new youth of Italy. Maybe he can adjust his skills.
What, or Salini, right? Who fucking Zaniolo? Played what? 6 games for Aston Villa, 7 has 1 goal. Come on, dude! Like, that's the state of this team. Like, and I think Loca got a call up too. So what? That's 3. That's all we got. Gatti didn't get a sniff, and honestly, I don't blame. I'm sorry.
After that last international break he played on, I'm pretty sure he's down the pecking order.
I don't blame Spalletti for that. You know what I mean? It kind of is what it is. So, but that's the thing. Like, Max knows in that he's already played a lot of the next gen guys, right? You're going to need them next year. You're going to need that depth. You're going to have to incorporate those guys into the squad. You're going to have to do a ton of rotations. You're going to have to play Champions League. And you're still going to compete for the Scudetto, right? So it's like, sure, let's bring on Palladino. Good luck. Thanks, pal. Like, have at it. What are we talking about?
So are we going to see a 3-5-2 Italy in the break? If I see a 3-5-2 Italy, I just want to hear all the average Chiesa enjoyers start crying.
We also have to realize that these are friendlies. Thankfully, these are friendlies.
Yes, but also they are the last friendlies. Like, if you want to change something, you have to do it now. And even then, if you change something, like, nobody knows if it fits.
That's
Germany,
a good point,
Germany did some good call-ups, I think. They called up the best players that are in form right now from Leverkusen. They dropped Goretzka, for example, who's playing badly with Bayern. Nearly every single Dortmund player didn't get a call-up. Like, they took the best in form right now from Leverkusen, Stuttgart, and teams like that.
So they're trying not to suck.
And I think the squad is...
Germany was always dangerous when they called players up from the Stuttgarts or the Hoffenheims or the Wolfsburg. Yeah. Like, all of those players, because it's just like, you didn't know how to come. Like, Germany's Bundesliga is like it's almost like every team plays like the same kind of way in a sense. So it's like, when it comes to the national team, I don't know if the Bundesliga did that or if that's just, a unicorn of a league, but like, Germany is so dangerous when they just plug and play players from different teams, because the way that German football is played is so eerily similar from team to team. So it's like, that's why they used to they'd call Germany the machine, because it was just like, oh yeah, this guy's out, we'll just throw this guy in. Like you'd have like Podolskis, you would have, you would have like, it's like the Podolski guy that would come in and just dominate. That's what made, like, for example, Andre Schuler. Like, Schuler, like, isn't an amazing player, but when he was on Germany, he was just playing really, really damn good.
I have a feeling, I don't know, tell me if I'm dumb, because you're the tactics guys more than I am, but things seemed a little bit more simpler back then, too, tactically speaking. Like, Germany played the German way. Italy played the Italian way. The Spanish, and now it's all just kind of like all over the place, and things are a lot more fluid.
It's the stupid football hipsters. That's honestly what it is. I don't know, like, because, like, for example, back then, national teams had their sense of their individualities, right? Now it's like, for example, now it's become like national teams have become secondary club football teams, because now it's like different ways to get passports. You can get passports by doing this, or, like, for example, if your wife is married, you're married to your wife and she has this, you can have a passport for that, right? So, like,
apparently if you pay a guy off in Perugia too, you can get a passport.
Yes, if you pay a guy in Livorno, if you go to Livorno and you ask for a passport, you can get that too. So it's just like, now it's become this, like, mixing pot of different styles and different things, and now you just don't know what you have, essentially, right? Because it's like, for example, Jurgen Klinsmann did this for the United States, where he was calling in a bunch of players that have either that were born on military bases or just shit all over the world, and it's just like, hey, let me bring you in for the United States national team, and then it's just a big cesspool of just different things. Same thing with Italy or France. Like, for example, with France, that was one of the biggest issues France had, is they had so many immigrants playing on their national team. There wasn't like an actual, old school French style.
You make it sound bad. The problem is that they were all just, the mothers were catty with each other. Like, they didn't consider the mothers.
They didn't consider the mothers. Italy's issue is different from that, because Italy, for some reason, has gotten bit by the tiki-taka bug. For some reason, these younger Italians, and maybe Sally, you could probably, be a little bit more accurate than me, but these younger Italians are a little bit more softer and don't understand the importance of grit, hard-nosed Italian defense. What Italy was known for.
Same with the German team, by the way.
Oh.
I would say there is something to that for sure. I think Italy's bigger issue is just lack of quality. We just don't have that class of player anymore, especially in attack. You don't have the Tottis, you don't have the Del Pieros, you don't have the Baggios.
Do you want to see class from world class forward?
Yeah, who you got?
Let's. How do I move this out of the way? Because we got to see this proper.
Oh, you gotta. There you go.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my god!
Is it a video clip? Oh, it's a video clip. Okay.
I've been waiting for the right moment on this one. This angle here. He just grabbed his balls.
Oh, that's actually funny.
Like, that is. That's...
Hey, man, Thuram always
full grip.
If that's what unfortunately they lost still though. So
hey, man, Thuram always finds a way to score on it, in the net or off the net.
Oh man.
The drop in quality, I'll even tell you this. Like, I mentioned guys who were like, in Italian you call it, fuori classe, right? Like, just top notch, like outclasses everybody. At this point, I would take a Balotelli, I take a Di Natale, I would take a Luca Toni. Like, give me those guys, and we're nowhere even close to that.
We don't even have we don't have a middle class, right? Like, there's no middle class. It's just poverty.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think that's the problem, is that, like, Italy stopped being so impoverished, and now they're a bunch of privileged, like, Fiorentine kids like Chiesa.
Yeah, it's
that's the thing, right? It's like we have it's a stupid inflation, right? Because it's like, for example, you have like players that aren't really as good, but they're being touted as like being really good, right? Like, for example, proper ball playing striker. Dusan, take note.
Oh my god, I'm choking up on that one. That one's good.
Penis puns. But like, for example, Chiesa, right? Like, Chiesa's kind of a middle/upper middle class player. He hasn't shown that like elite-esque ability.
But in society, he's
he's like Jesus.
Yeah,
he really is like Jesus.
He is church.
Yeah, true. it is sad when you would be like, "Fuck!" Imagine what Antonio Cassano can do on this team. Like that's
Exactly.
That's how. It's a thing.
Yeah, times have changed though, right? So
Like
It
I
is.
know I'm sitting here like, damn. I wonder what happens if we have Montolivo and Benaventura starting in this midfield,
I
or
mean,
Giaccarini.
it is what it is. Like, because now you're talking Raspadori's, like you said, like Scamacca's, and it's just like
You know,
bad.
we used
the
to
midfield is really where we're at, and you can't even say it about the defense anymore, right? Like, so right now it's like midfield's really where any of our quality is. Because you lost Bonucci, you lost, Chiellini, you lost Barzali, like all those guys. Like who's there? Who we got? Mancini from fucking.
man.
Nobody can stand. You got what? A Cherby. You got. It's basically an inter-back line now.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tony, like the Scalvini kid. That's I'm personally not convinced on, even though I have to
He's so young.
And way too young.
And he's tiny, man. He just gets fly swatted off.
Yeah. Yeah. So
he needs a few more years. Like center backs, right? They take a long time to develop, and he's what 18, 19.
You could just give Bremer a German passport or an Italian passport.
Oh, I take a German passport.
Yeah.
Scalvini's 20, so like that's still. He's a young person or
We're
back.
talking about national team styles, right? And you guys had a really good point. You had the total football with the Netherlands, right? You had the Selecao with, their Juego Bonito. And even now, but now look at Brazil now. It's all defense.
Well, one thing I remembered, I don't know, early 2000s, whatnot, watching Germany, because I always liked the German teams, is that they always offside trapped the fuck out of the other team.
Yeah.
They always catch them offside.
Yeah.
And like that style of play
Yeah.
just doesn't exist anymore, really.
No, there's
not
no style of play.
The difference was that we had actually tactically intelligent defenders. Now we have a dude like Rudiger who tries to dribble from box to box, loses the ball, and we get like hit by a counter attack immediately.
And that's the thing that
we don't have the tactically intelligent defenders right now.
Yeah, and that's what really impressed me, because whenever they would show like how they offside trap the guy, they would draw that line, and it was just like a straight line through the defenders. Like they're together, they are one piece, they move together, and it was just so impressive to watch them do that. And now it's non-existent.
Because go ahead,
German Dave, like for you guys too, at least the last 10 years, right? Because with national teams, you really have to, for cycles, you have to go 8 to 12. Yeah. But like your midfields, man, like your midfielders, Mueller, freaking Cruz, just like, I was so jealous seeing like that.
Yeah, but the problem is those players got older. And we have to put like a very physical six next to them to make it work, because now with their age, we lost all the physicality in our midfield, and we get run over like a Brighton team or a Manchester United that don't have a working midfield. And to connect it to Vlad's question earlier, I think a player like Pavlovic is defensively incredible. He's big, tall, physical. He, as a single pivot, can cover the whole first third basically, and he barely goes forward. But if he has to, he can dribble with the ball. He can pass a bit. But I think he's one of the best actual talents we had as a six since Kimmich. But I think it's a bit early for him. But they had to do it, because otherwise he would have chosen Serbia. Because I think Serbia was luring him with playing him for the Euros as well. Now he got the call up for Germany. I think it was just a bit proactive to have him definitely for the German squad. I think he will be incredible the coming years, but I fear a bit for our midfield now, because I think he's a bit young to throw him into the starting 11, and we don't have like the other physical midfielders that are experienced on that level. Like Leverkusen has a guy, Robert Andrich. He's like a bit more physical, but also like not every time like on point where he stands on the field. Yeah, you can catch him out a bit. So I'm not sure, but I'm actually like excited anyways. So let's see.
All right. Now there's all kinds of random news happening out there. Is there any particular ones anybody has that they want to throw on the table?
I think I'm good on my side.
Okay, I want to show one, but I have to allow pop-ups because they want shitty ad money. Oh, man. Okay, give me a second. Sorry. It did not do that on my phone, but yeah, here it is. Brighton. Going back to Brighton. Brighton fans hold up hilarious Francesco Totti banner at Europa League clash in response to Roma ultras who made an X-rated sign about the Queen during the first leg. So first off, which drunken ass footy fan cares about the dead Queen? Tell me which one does. Find one. I dare you.
I guess
Secondly, Totti loves Totti loves pineapples on his pizza. That was their response? Who gives a fuck?
I mean,
Who gives a fuck?
For me personally, I was offended.
But like, that's what when somebody's like, "Go fuck the Queen," and you come back, Totti likes pineapples on pizza. Is that what? Are we grade 4? Like what? Like we were at an adult's situation, and now we brought it to like grade school.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the equivalent of The Rock insulting Cody's mom and his whole family and slapping him, and then Cody goes on Monday Night Raw and cries.
That's the best part. The Rock is like, "Hey, the slap heard all around the world, and what did you do? You cried like a bitch."
Okay, so that's what it said. The Queen gave, it said B *****, so I think blowjobs, which is even more hilarious.
Jesus.
She probably did. It's probably not incorrect. She had a sex life, clearly. She had kids.
Roma fans are brutal.
Oh, of course. But come on, do better, Brighton. You suck. Maybe they do like the Queen because they're not drunk enough. If they were drunk enough, to come up with something better. Bunch of hooligans, whatever. Stupid.
I don't even know like how big Brighton's stadium is. I mean, they haven't really been a Premier League big club name.
I
think
31,
Brighton's,
32.
around 35. Oh, I was close there.
32, yeah. In Falmer.
Yeah, that's pretty small. That's pretty small. I mean, the Stadio Olimpico is. I mean, it's one of those throwback to the night, Italia '90, with a fucking huge track. You know.
you mean the Olympica?
Yeah.
Or the Diego Maradona, or any stadium that's not Juve?
Yeah, pretty much.
Our Olympic Stadium in Berlin is also one of those old retro stadiums. It has also that running track around it, but we have like a capacity of 75,000. And my Berlin team is in second division and is still newly selling it out every week.
Oh wow!
I'll give them that. The infrastructure of the stadiums in Bundesliga are top notch.
Yeah,
top notch, for sure.
So this one came from Frankie. Just getting through some bullshit here. We were told MLS surpassed Liga MX. Pachuca 6, Philadelphia 0, Tigres 4, Orlando 2, Monterrey 3, Cincinnati 1. Okay, well, whoever said that MLS was better than Liga MX is not watching.
No.
Liga MX.
You know what they're saying? They were saying this because they were a bunch of idiots. This is why. Because the United States has been running through Mexico's national team, essentially, in competition. So
is that it?
Argument. Let's be honest here, guys. Most of the best players for the U.S. national team all play in Europe, in top teams in Europe. That is why they are cooking there. Not your Philadelphias, not your Orlando Cities, not your Cincinnati's. Because seriously, let's be honest, it's fucking Ohio. Like, What good has come out of Ohio? Like even Logan Paul has come from Ohio. That goes to tell you how shitty Ohio is.
Logan Paul. Yeah, nobody likes Logan Paul.
Let's be honest
They have
here.
LeBron
James came from Ohio. The Paul brothers came from Ohio.
I don't like
The Cleveland
James
Browns
either.
came from Ohio.
Well, just Cleveland, anything. Speaking of Mexico,
My God,
Cleveland's
what
so
have they
fuck
done?
all. Their river catches on fire.
Dude, those bright green Mexican jerseys were incredible all the time,
Yeah,
but man,
yo.
what have they done?
I don't know.
Adidas ruined
You need to tell
everything.
Adidas to get their stuff back together again.
Jesus.
Adidas has gone hipster.
Oh, they went hard hipster, which is pretty crazy for a company that used to make weapons for the National Socialist Party.
But also close for the Nazis.
I don't know if we're allowed to actually say the full name, so that's why I went with. I don't know. Maybe you can. The videos with like Hitler stuff on it always do well, so maybe.
I read something else. I mean, just talking about Adidas with Juve. I think I read an article too where Man U not making the Champions League next year, which is pretty much a given. Even if they do get a fifth spot.
No, they won't. They are like 8 points behind Aston Villa, I think. No, they won't get even to the fifth spot.
Yeah, they're set.
It's between Villa and Tottenham, and even Tottenham lost 3-0 against Fulham today.
Yeah, they're set to lose.
By the way, Dragozin started today, and he gave up basically 2 goals for Tottenham.
This is a shout out to all the Dragosin crybabies.
Yeah, they had basically Man U, if they don't make Champions League, are set to lose 10 mil on their sponsorship deal as well. And from Adidas, a yearly 10 million euro penalty without Champions League qualification. So Adidas is getting after everybody, bro. They're not fucking around anymore.
Yeah.
It's even rumored that Adidas tries to do like a big offer to sponsor the French national team.
I thought, who sponsors them? Nike?
It's Nike right now, but Adidas. I think the contract runs out. Was it after the Euros or 2025? Like, it's not. They don't have long duration of contract anymore.
Is this what I'm looking? Just the Latvia jerseys?
Well, Adidas has ruined the Italian national team kits, so they're absolutely dreadful. I never got Puma as much as I do now.
Yeah, what if Italy went back to Capo?
They're not big enough, but yes.
Dude, not even big enough. The Kappa jerseys have become shit. Like the poor company can produce as good of quality.
I remember their old Kappa was awesome back then.
The old were incredible. Like it was actually like a thick, nice garment, and yeah.
Yeah, I was cool in the 90s. I wasn't cool in the 90s. I never had any Kappa. My wife saw it for the first time when we went to Italy. And she's like, what is that? And she noticed right away that like it's basically a woman's legs spread open. She's like, that's disgusting. It's like, it's fine. It's normal. It's why? It's okay. It's just like, what? She's just like, why would you put that on your shirt? Like, what's
like, I see it all the time. What are you talking about? What's wrong
and I'm
with
like, how have you not seen this? This was huge that I remember.
Like,
she lived on an island, said she didn't see any of this shit.
And it's like, you just.
You know who one of my favorite Italy kit sponsors was? Umbro.
Oh
yeah, I had some.
Umbro was incredible.
Yes.
Umbro did Sweden jerseys. I think Denmark jerseys. The England. Did I say England? I don't know. England jerseys, and I loved them.
I had this windbreaker for USA '94 from Umbro. That was the most Guido thing ever invented. It was also my favorite piece of sports clothing I ever owned. I'm gonna put it in the Discord.
Is this the right Latvia?
So my neighbor, he's Italian and he's a huge Lazio fan, so I always call him a fascist whenever he comes outside. He's a retired coach, and he gave me his old Umbros that he wore when he coached, like leather Umbros. Like I hate wearing them, but I love wearing them because I don't want to wear the leather out on them because
dude,
it's
put
actual
it.
leather.
Get a shelf or something. Display them. Put it in your background.
Dave, to be honest with you, the times that I wear them, I just like the touch, my turns, my dribbles, everything is like dialed up to 20. So it's like I still want to use them, but at the same time, I don't want to use them because I don't want them to rip up.
What does that matter? You play in a dome.
I know I use those for outdoor. I wish I played.
Okay. All
I
right.
That was what,
Or in the link to the tinfoil
this.
Discord. Can you bring this beauty up whenever you have a chance?
oh, he'll do it right now.
Boy. Oh, that is super wop.
Yeah, bro.
This is amazing.
That thing every day for like a year.
Wow. Apex. I don't even know what Apex is.
Look at this. Look at that thing.
Wow.
My dad
Apex
probably has one of those in his closet.
It says $95 if you want it.
It's a collector's item. Look at that thing.
Oh, what's this? This one looks nice. It's like zip up. I don't know.
Yeah,
No.
It's vintage.
with that.
Now we're just shopping.
Yeah, just type in Umbro cleats.
no,
I'm kind of curious to see how much those are worth.
Oh, I just realized I was looking at this jacket up here. It didn't pop up, but Umbro cleats. All right. Do you know which year?
Just any
I don't
Umbro.
One is
Leather.
around anymore. Jeez.
Let's say 1992. Older?
No,
Those
mine
don't
are
look that
mine are
bad.
gold. So mine actually have like instead of the white, it's gold. Oh damn! 'Cause his are actually from Italy. Like he got his from Italy. Nope, those are not. It's black and then like it has the Umbro logo in gold, and it has like the Italian tricolor on it too.
Just send me a picture and I'll like Google goggle it.
Goggle it.
Google goggle.
I'll clean them because they probably still have mud. Because I played in the mud a couple weeks ago with them. I'm so bad.
You are bad.
Dude, when you have a pair of boots that feel like ecstasy on your feet, you have a very hard time switching to something else.
For me, it was like 5 years. I wore the Nike Total 90s. You remember that were half silver, half red?
Yep.
Those were incredible.
I for my indoor, I had some Adidas Predators, almost similar to the McKinney ones, and I blew a hole. I think I showed it here on stream a while ago. I blew a hole in the middle of the shoe, and now I'm just so pissed because I can't find them anymore. And I switched to Puma, but like the Pumas just don't feel the same. They just don't feel the same. It's just I don't know, like when you bond with a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
That's
then
just really
shoes-
into his shoes.
It's because like for example, like you adjust your touches, your cuts, your dribbles, your shot, all of it, and then it's just like when you get a new pair of shoes, you're just kind of like fuck.
See, I just have dogs, so I just don't get attached to shoes. They ate my white Pumas, my Euro trash Pumas. They fucking ate them a couple weeks back.
They ate your tinfoil hat like
Well,
3
that
times.
didn't cost me anything, but those white Pumas I bought specifically to Euro trash around Europe. I've been like over Italy and Spain with those things, just rocking it out. Now, fucking nothing.
It just might be a statement that your fashion sense isn't the greatest.
Dude, white Pumas, Puma Romas with the gold. Don't worry about it.
Does Reebok do any national team? I don't even.
I don't think so.
Reeboks.
I don't think no.
Remember, everybody
I
was
don't-
like switching to Macron for a little bit, and then it stopped.
Like
Yeah.
the I think some of the South American teams, like Ecuador or teams like that, have Macron.
Because I know it was like Euro 2016. Like there was a bunch of teams that were going with Macron, and then they're just kind of like it kind of just died out.
Here's some Reebok jerseys. Colombia, 98
Colombia.
and 2001.
They're in Brazil. It looks like.
Chivas, 2005.
Chivas, oh shit.
Guadalajara.
Where's Frankie when you need him?
Yeah. So Colombia,
So it looks
Chivas.
interesting.
That's about it. And that was
And
10 years ago,
that's it.
20 years ago.
They used to do Russia, and they
Man,
did
$621.
Aston Villa, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Sorry, I screwed that up, German Dave, but yeah.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
So yeah, they do, but it doesn't look like they've done. Oh, it looks like they even did Fiorentina back in '95 to '97. Actually, actually not a bad look. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, didn't realize
All right.
they were. Doesn't look like they're doing upper echelon stuff, but they have a footprint. Oh, Liverpool, really?
Oh,
Back
they
in the
did
night,
that.
like late.
Yeah,
middle-
they were bigger back in the 90s and into the 2000s, and they died.
They were Liverpool. Like looks like mid '90s. They had a Liverpool sponsorship. Interesting.
So we finally have the Latvia one that we want to look at.
Actually, it looks kind of like Roma. It looks like a Roma
It's
sort of.
similar.
It
It's
does,
just these
doesn't it?
Adidas jerseys all have the same pattern, so it's just like, okay, slap your own shit on it. There you go.
They have, yeah.
That's why I
They
hate
look
the
like
MLS
training
jerseys.
for me. They're nothing special.
No, like I hate the MLS
Dude,
because everyone looks like crap.
Who does this? Who
The
does
German.
Dash? Who
No,
does
go for it.
the Albania shirt sponsor?
It's Macron.
Macron. Okay.
What's this? The Reebok
The
one?
German
that's Adidas.
goalkeeper's jersey for the Euros is a copy of some of the MLS away jerseys.
This is the old Reebok.
Yeah, the Albanian national team jerseys aren't too bad.
Oh, this one's cool. I like this.
I
I
don't think.
Dang, some of these were pretty nice.
Yeah, if you look up the current Albanian Natty one, I think it's been the same one for like the last 5 years. They haven't changed it.
Palestine football shirt, anyone?
Do you know what I don't understand about Fiorentina jerseys? They have such a nice and beautiful color palette, and I don't know how you can fuck it up like they did the past years, honestly.
Fiorentina.
They're nice. They'd have nice stuff.
It was nice.
I mean, they are the city of art.
Yeah, that you would think, right? Absolutely.
Lecoq Sportif. You want to see Lecoq?
Le Coq Sportif is busy sponsoring Alpine and losing their money on that one.
Okay, this is straight from Lecoq itself. Get out of there. All right. Lecoq's. Who's this? Nice. Lusan.
Jersey, that one on the bottom, the bottom left.
This, the black one?
Not to the left. That yellow one looks like a Brazil jersey.
Oh, this guy.
Yellow with the green.
Are we talking about this one up here?
The Safa match outfit to the right. So the yellow, yeah, that one. That one. That
Okay.
yellow. That
This-
yellow with the green.
Oh, they both. This looks like Mexico. That looks like Brazil.
Yep.
That kind of looks a little bit like Florentina too, but Nice, that works. I don't know what SAFA is. South African Football Association?
I think that's what it is, yeah. Or
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
No, Saudi Arabia is with Nike. I think Saudi Arabia and Qatar they have the money and the Middle Eastern standard to get sponsored by Nike.
Yeah, South African Football Association.
The Al Nassr jerseys aren't that bad. They're not bad to look at.
No.
So it's Nice, South Africa, Lausanne. That's it, apparently.
Do you remember the guy I posted in Discord that trained in the Ronaldo jersey with the Barcelona joggers? I saw him at the start of this week in the Al Nassr jersey. He's one of those guys.
Okay, Vlad wants the old cock. He doesn't want the new cock.
Yeah?
Fine.
Be careful what you share on the screen.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah? Is that the...
I got the right cock.
All right, Vlad. I think I got something for you.
It's a trap,
Oh,
Dave. It's a trap.
Yeah, yeah.
That one's crazy. 2024 Olympics. Oh, that's the new one for the Olympics. Okay.
That's the new cock.
New cock. You want old cock. All right.
You gotta give him the cock.
Yeah, that brother stop.
Old cock.
That is ugh.
Here we go. This I think is
No, to the right.
this one.
Look at that 98 France home jersey.
Oh yes, these ones of
That's
course.
some old cock.
But
That was
you beauties.
that was a nice one.
Yeah, that was the classic.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
98. That was
A good year for them.
Sedan years.
They won the World Cup in '98.
Yeah.
In France.
Yeah, head wasn't that the headbutt jersey?
The headbutt.
No,
jersey.
the headbutt jersey
No, that was
was
2000.
white Adidas 2006.
Yeah, that was later. A few years down the road. Oh man. Okay, not the headbutt jersey.
Yeah, that was the year they schooled Brazil in the final.
And got schooled by Italy in the final.
Well, that was 06. It took a while to get back at them. But in '98, they knocked out Italy. I think it was quarterfinals on PKs.
There you go. When you type in headbutt jersey France, you got it.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. So
Ed, man, he knew. He's like, "Fuck you and Teresa."
yeah, I do remember that the cock ones. I do particularly remember those. I didn't even realize at the time. I'm figuring this out now. I thought the cock was just because it's a French thing. I didn't realize that was the actual manufacturer. So the more you know.
You know the funny thing though, German Dave, in 06, that France team. I mean, they had some good players. Obviously, they had Henry, they had Trezeguet coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But they had Barthez, and he was just a terrible goalkeeper. And I was really not worried. I figured once we got past Germany in the semis, because that was the game that really worried me, I wasn't as worried about France.
I was more worried about us facing you guys than you were with us, because to that point we have never beat you in a like international competition except of friendlies.
Yeah, that's true. Because I think in '82 it was West Germany when Italy won their third World. That was West Germany, and I think this was before my time, but I think it was the World Cup in Mexico. They played the West Germany in the semis, and it was called the Game of the Century. At the Estadio Azteca, they actually have a plaque outside the stadium commemorating that game. And Italy was so beat up after that semi, Brazil rolled right through them in the finals.
Oh, that shit was rough back then too.
Oh, dude.
Especially in the Azteca, like somebody's getting shanked.
I think Beckenbauer
and it was like 100,000 of attendance, like 40 degrees in Mexican weather. It was incredible.
Yeah, they got
like
beat up.
People passed out, people died in the stands.
Yeah, it was, and I think that game went. I don't know if it went. I think it went into overtime. That was before they even.
I think.
Yeah, so
that was golden goal back then, wasn't it?
I'm not 100%
no,
sure.
I think the golden goal was in the 90s, I believe.
So the golden goal was the Euros, where Italy lost to France in the finals from a Trezeguet goal.
I'm looking this up when they have it.
And we lost to France in the finals on the golden goal from Trezeguet.
Introduced by FIFA in '93, employed in the '98 and '02 World Cups.
And I think we won a Euro, I think, with a golden goal, if I remember correctly. Somewhere middle in the 90s.
We should have won that Euro. We should have beat France that Euro. So that's why 06 just felt so much better, because after 98 and then after losing that final to France, we needed that big time.
That French team in 06, like you said, it wasn't that good. I think it was like, of course they had the players, but they were also very old and a slow team. And nobody could believe that they beat that Brazil team, which had like Ronaldinho, the OG Ronaldo, and players like that.
That was all Zidane that game. Zidane was on all.
Yeah.
He was playing on a different planet from else. I think at that point he was probably the best player in the world.
Yeah.
He got them to that final.
Yep.
Little history lesson for the.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we
so
did.
hey,
we went down the rabbit hole a
ask,
little.
let me ask you this then: whose World Cup performance was more impressive, Zidane or Messi's?
Zidane.
Down.
Oh, Zidane, 100%.
But Messi got.
Messi
He had
got
a
carried
cape put over him.
by penalties first. He got also carried by the refs, and also by his team that covered like defensively everything behind him, so that you could stay just in the final third.
But Messi's crowned as a Qatari prince now.
Dude, Argentina at that World Cup was a complete like shithouse team.
Yeah.
Offensively, they weren't that good. They were defensively sound and like shithoused everybody.
Mexico were this close to eliminating them. Mexico. Meanwhile, and this might be the boomer in me, but for me, like peak football was like mid to late 90s to mid 2000s.
Yes. I think 2006 was the last year of peak football.
I mean, that was
for me. It was until 2010 that South Africa World Cup. Was it South Africa? 2010?
Yes.
Yep. Yes. 14 was Brazil. Yeah, that was incredible because that was for me the peak of football. That was that 2010 Spanish team. That was the most beautiful like style of football I have ever seen. It was playing defense by having the ball and keeping the ball. They had like all the way through the final 75% like ball possession.
Right, that was Spain's first World Cup. That ushered in the Taka. For me, like 90, like I remember like 98. One of the best games I ever saw was Holland versus Brazil.
Oh, that game was nuts. That game was nuts.
When Holland was a good team too.
They were.
Van Nistelrooy. Oh my goodness.
I loved I loved the Dutch back then.
And the Dutch they played their game. Like they didn't, it was like, all right, we're gonna play with our football. And don't get me wrong, Brazil carved them up with some amazing passes that broke the line. The Van der Sar was playing on a whole other level, kept them in the whole game up until PKs. But Jesus Christ, what just from a neutral perspective, just like holy shit. Like you same thing with with in 06 with Zidane and and Brazil, where everybody thought Brazil was going to roll over them, and that German team that was on an ascendancy, right? Because they were kind of down in the dumps up until then, and then it showed like their golden generation was coming up, right? Italy's golden generation was basically making their last stand on the world stage. Like you just had everything you had in that era from like the mid 90s to like mid 2006. For me, like Spain, it was nice, but like to me, the ticket, that's where people fell in love with formations for me. That's sort of what
I think it was after that. I think 2010 was the end of that prime. Like 2010 was the last like prime beautiful football that we love. I think after that is the problem because the hipsters in the football world said at some point that the ball that Spain is playing is boring. How can you call that style boring?
And it became all about
after that was the downfall for me, honestly.
Yeah, for the international game, for sure.
Yeah.
Listen, I was only going to be born, shortly after this, but nothing's better than the cocaine-fueled '86 World Cup.
Hey man, watching a prime Maradona was something.
That's one of the first things I did actually during COVID lockdown. Is I sat down and I watched that Hand of God match. I'm like, I need to watch this. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I watched like the 2006 World Cup. Watched all that shit.
Plain England,
Yeah. It wasn't even that great of a game overall. Like from a neutral's perspective, it was very slow and drawn out. It was very scrappy.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, but that was England, right? You didn't see technical. Like for me, this is really more of a golden generation for England than Rooney, Beckham, Gerrard, Terry.
They were a lot grittier. Yeah. Speaking of all the pretty boys coming up now, demand the money.
Some of these English kids, I got to say, they can ball.
Yeah.
You got Bellingham there. Like,
Bellingham's like the only one I actually want to respect out of any of them.
But you got say what you want. Foden's he can ball, man.
Once they can figure out how to cut their fucking hair, maybe we can start talking.
No, once they figure out how to phase out Harry Kane, they can actually win a title.
He's the only one I like, the goon.
I hope Southgate stays with them forever because I think he's really.
I have a discussion point actually about the English national team. If you want to talk about it,
you can. I just gotta lock up my chicken, so you go ahead and I'll.
Alright.
I do. I gotta lock up my Lacocks now, but I'll throw on my phone so I don't miss anything. I'll be right back.
All right. So the right back from Arsenal, Ben White, rejected to get called up to the national team.
Oh yeah.
And the football fans and media says that he is a guy that like plays football for the money and doesn't want to join the team out of patriotism or like he wants to have that summertime with his family, etc. And now there's a big discussion whether you can criticize him for that or whether it is actually good for him to make that personal decision to not get called up. And now everybody's talking about it. That is a topic that is heating up over there.
I mean, you're always gonna have that. You're always gonna have that discussion, right? I think there's a couple of things there. A lot of players are. I think it comes more down to Southgate than it comes down to the actual wanting to represent your country. He's to me, he's not a good coach, and I think
no, he's not. He's living off the talent that he has, but he's not a good coach. Can you imagine that talent that the England squad has with an actual coach? Like imagine a guy like Pep.
Yeah.
Who is like already ingrained in the English football, knows the culture, knows how to play football there. Imagine that guy with that squad.
Or even Klopp.
Hey, they would demolish everybody.
That's what I'm saying. It's just he's basically to me, he's more like the English FA, like Southgate. He's like a company man.
He's a likable guy. He doesn't say anything controversial. Like he never lashes out. He's always calm. It's good for them, but yeah.
I think like the way that team plays and how he sets them up, like Italy had no right beating them at Wembley. In my estimation,
Yeah.
None.
I agree.
None. They should have gotten. Yeah, and then you saw it because they took it. And the worst thing, honestly, that probably could have happened to them was they got such an early lead, which is exactly what happened.
Yep.
Because Southgate's like set up. He's like, all right, and he's letting Italy play with he's letting them have the ball. But Southgate to me is, and like I said, this I look at this English team and I'm like, fuck.
But he gave up their identity completely up in that final. The English team was great with ball possession. They were great on the wings with guys like Xhaka, Sterling, etc. They were incredibly fast. They could play through the middle with Mason Mount and Bellingham. No, not Bellingham. Sorry. Who did they have back then?
Was it Sancho?
Sorry again.
Sancho? Jadon Sancho?
Sancho was a left winger, but they rotated him with Sterling, and on the right they had Xhaka and I don't remember who else, but they were incredible with ball possession, and they just left the ball to Italy. Italy is a team that like if you don't leave them the ball, what do they produce?
Nothing.
And the fact that you left them the ball and gave up your strength to empower them, like incredibly like foolish.
That was the one thing that surprised me back then. Was like, why didn't they go for two? Like, why didn't they go? You get an early one, and then you force Italy to play off script, and then you bury them for a second one.
Yeah,
where it's like,
I think about how Italy scored. It was a shit house goal. It was a scramble off of a corner that had like 3 or 4 deflections, and then Bonucci just pounced on it.
Yep.
That's the only way. The only player that was giving England fits that game was Kesa.
Yeah.
He was the only one that was like running man on man, like trying to do something, and then that was it.
I wish he still did what he did against England and like now. Like,
Yeah.
like for example, you look at the dribbles he was doing against England or the way that he was cutting in and shooting. Like Chiesa was inverting on the right wing and shooting with his left, where now it's like you have to like I don't know what to do to get him to do something like that now.
It was pre-injury. No. I'm telling you, after that Euro, he was valued at 100 million. He was 100
No,
million.
it's not only the injury. It is, I think, honestly, he found a role for himself and just wants to hold on to that role. He doesn't want to like to change or to accommodate to the system or like explore if he has the different strengths. And honestly, even I say we do know that he has different strength. We know that if he would care, he could be a good second striker with his dribblings, with his passing, or even a right winger. But he doesn't want to play that.
I don't care what you said. I got this Campione di Europa. Screw y'all. Fuck Gareth he's a trash coach. Forza Italia.
That's what happens when you put your cocks away. That's the first thing on your mind.
He coach, and like, but the thing with England was like, even in that Euro, they had a very easy path to the finals. Like Italy had and that was the thing, right? With the tournaments, if you peak at the right time and you play tough teams and you get past them. Italy got past Belgium in the quarters, right? Who FIFA rank 1. Don't ask me why, but FIFA rank 1, and smashed them actually, right? They beat them handily.
Yeah.
And they got past Spain, right? So they basically went through like all because once France got knocked out early on, like it was an open field, like anybody could win. It was anybody's tournament at that time when they got eliminated on PKs. But who did England go through? Who did they play? They played
Germany. They took us out in the quarters, I believe. Quarters or semis, I don't remember. I think it was quarters. No, they went through us.
Beat Ukraine in the and I don't know if did they play Germany? I thought it was round of 16.
I remember
100% they played Germany, but I don't know which like finals round it was.
They played Denmark in the semifinals.
Oh, was Denmark?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure scored. I'm checking it out now because I remember I was in the grocery store
and
parking
Germany
lot
quarters,
listening to
I
it.
believe.
So I think they played Germany in the quarters, or was it round of 16?
I think it was quarters.
Round of 16. That's what it was.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sterling and Kane got those goals.
In round of 16 against because they knocked out Germany pretty early.
But I think what Italy had, they had that aura. They didn't lose. What was it? 38 games they won on the bounce. Italy had just that aura. You were scared when they came to the stadium.
And it's funny because Argentina was poised to break that record, and then they lost that game against Saudi Arabia in the first.
Saudi Arabia,
yeah. Of all teams, they were probably like, "Listen, you throw this game, we'll make you the crown prince."
Yeah.
We'll give you hey, throw this game away. We'll give you the other ones.
No, but then I think didn't England? But then think about it like this though. Like England, they still, to me, France is still the top in terms of quality,
pure talent. Yeah,
when you're talking talent, like it's France's. Every tournament lately, it's been France's. And it's been
theirs
like,
to lose.
It's been like that even, I'd say, like Mbappe ascendancy. You could even go back to when they played Portugal in the finals of that Euro and they lost.
You can say they've been pretty consistently at the top throughout.
Oh
yeah. They're currently the Spain, right?
But Spain just had that like flourish. Even when Spain was Spain, France was still a good team.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, for example, Spain in like 2008 to 2014 was like you did not want to play them.
No, and Italy got close. We lost to them at the I think it was the Euros of
2008 and 12.
Yeah, and we lost to them. We lost to them in PKs, right? The first time. They smoked us in the finals, I think in 2012, because I think we got a red card.
Red card, injury, and mess.
Yeah, we were stuck with like 10 men or whatever. And then but then like we've knocked them out the last 2 competitions. We knocked them out with Conte in the round of 16 at those Euros, where Chiellini scored and did the Kong celebration. Conte jumped into the stands and hit somebody and had a bloody nose. He was
they got Del Bosque fired from Spain.
That was where Germany finally got past Italy in PKs.
Let's ask us this a tinfoil show because we just completely.
Every show is a bit of a tinfoil.
I know.
Just a little dash of it all.
No, but France just consistently being in semis, finals, winning finals.
Yeah.
You know, they're to me, as far as international, they're top.
I think
it's them, everybody else.
I think it's going to be France, and then Portugal is a close second.
Portugal's had some dips, but
I think on talent, like just on pure talent, it should be England right behind France for me.
Right.
But
Currently,
I think their coaching will hold them back.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like they've been with the champ now for how long? 8 years.
It's 8 years now. I wanna say.
The champ's been with them since they lost that final to Portugal.
I think Deschamps came in after
2012.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what? He's
12
12
years. 12 years ago.
Incredible for a national team coach. That's
weird.
incredible.
That's intense.
And look what he's done. He's made it to 2.
Dude,
he's the Euro final. He's lost a World Cup final. He's won a World Cup. Like
Lost a Euro final.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, he lost a Euro final. He lost a World Cup final. He won a World Cup final. I mean, that's fuck, dude. Like you're the only blip was the last Euros where they got knocked out on PKs.
Now here's the crazy thing too. Between the under 21 and the senior team, he played 12 years for the national team as well.
And he was a Juve legend too.
Yeah.
You know, and he coached Juve through a rough time too. You know, like that for me, I wouldn't mind seeing him replace Allegri when he's done. Him, I think
I think Simeone is now also, what is it, 12 or 14 years with Atletico. It's also incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not leaving unless he retires.
Yeah.
He had
2011.
And for him, like he's won La Liga with them. I don't know if it was once or twice.
I think he won it twice, I believe. Yeah.
And he won it twice with them. He made it to a UCL final.
He
Unfortunately,
won a couple of Spanish cups.
Yeah.
He won a Europa League.
Yeah, he's consistently like top 4.
And honestly, he
Barca
played
and
against peak Barca and Real. Like not this Barcelona. He played against peak Barcelona, Messi, Neymar, Suarez, and whatever they had, and Real Madrid with Ronaldo, Benzema, and to win against those teams is honestly incredible.
Yeah, he's like the last man standing from that whole whole La Liga. When La Liga was when they were the top league for a while. Yeah. He's the last guy standing from them.
So Simeone's contract goes till June 30th, 2027. So he still has 3 more years on that.
I don't think
15.
Love to see them. I think they have. Are they in the right side of the bracket for UCL? If they can get
yes, they are on the like with Dortmund. They're on the side which doesn't have like Man City, Arsenal, Bayern, and Real Madrid. They're on the other side of the bracket.
PSG,
so they got the Inter draw.
Barcelona's. Yep.
They could make a run.
What do you? I mean, hey, PSG. It depends if Mbappe's on or not, man.
Honestly. If I think they will beat Dortmund, they will shithouse them, and sorry, but Paris is a bit of a shit show with the Mbappé stuff right now, and Barcelona, sorry, hands down, Atletico will shithouse them with defense.
I'll tell you what, that semi, whether it's Bayern or Man City or Real Madrid, that's going to be a proper semi.
How do you like my pets?
But all of them are incredible, I think.
Yeah, I mean the only ones like you said,
it's an incredible draw.
Yeah, Arsenal and Dortmund are sort of like the like you're not surprised to see them there, but it is. But yeah, there's no it wasn't like last year where Inter by the grace of God just had the shittiest side of the bracket we've seen in forever with Napoli, AC Milan, and Benfica. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where all the tough stuff was happening on the other side.
No, honestly, I think every single game of these it's an incredible game.
Can you believe AC Milan was a UCL semifinalist last year? Can we talk about that for a second? Like,
Hey, but
I'm not.
can you believe Inter was there? Inter played like shit until we woke them up in the Coppa Italia.
Yeah, yeah.
They were playing like shit, and then we lost to them and woke them up.
It all came down to that stupid Bremer handball, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know. Ellie doesn't see PSG winning against Barca. I don't know. Barca's pretty trash. They got a little lucky.
Anything is possible, especially like you said, if they don't get that midfield back. Like, luckily Napoli shit, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? So they were able to play like their C-suite. But bro, like that one, bro, they got some. Barcelona's got some youngins.
But the crazy thing, Barca has such a shit defense. Honestly, I couldn't believe that Napoli couldn't break that down. Like that just explains to me how bad Napoli was performing, rather than saying Barcelona was that good. But hey, I wrote in Discord I won't trash Barca for the rest of the season. So hey.
Well, the thing is, right? Like, if it's Barca and Real Madrid in the semis, like, I'm okay rooting for either because I owe both of them. You know.
Yeah, but they can meet in the final. I believe they can meet in the semifinal.
Yeah, in the semis, like I'm like, let them both make it to the semis. That's great because they're so far behind on the coefficient anyway. You want Spain to run. You want it to be. You want that semi to have Real, Atletico, and Barca in it. That's it. Yeah. Like that's what Serie A fans want that to root for.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna cut it. We've gone pretty long, and I'm starting to drift because I think my sickness is taking over again, and we gotta get up nice and early.
4:30.
4:30 for you. It's 7:30 here. Not so bad. Nice lunchtime live there for German Dave. Not
less
so bad.
Than 12 hours. Yeah, a little less.
Yeah. So
it's good for me.
Yeah, it must be nice. I have to go deal with a bunch of drunks at the family business tomorrow.
I hope the tips are good.
Yeah.
Get drunk with them, Dad.
Unfortunately, the tip I'll be getting isn't money. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh boy, and Dash not drink, so always gonna get the tip.
Like, hey, where's your guys' urinal? I'm just gonna. No, sir, that's a table. Please do not piss on the table.
He'll get a savage treatment.
It's like, yeah, you want some corned beef? I'll give you some corned beef.
Oh, wait, but guys, real quick, before we sign off, what are we doing for WrestleMania?
I am gonna probably be in the Discord. We'll have like a watch party because
we got this. It's a 2-nighter, by the way. It's all weekend.
Yes.
I'm trying to convince them to live stream it, but we can take shifts.
Yeah.
I
mean, don't leave me alone because I won't really know what I'm talking about.
But that's what we're gonna do. Just in spite of you, we're just gonna leave you alone. We'll leave you alone for all the undercard and the mid cards, and then all of us will pop on when it's The Rock. And
but just give the trash.
No, that card's looking really good, man.
It is. My only thing that I have with the card is the clusterfuck of the ladder match for the tag titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing I have an issue with. But like Sami Zayn and Gunther, I understand because it was supposed to be Brock, and yes, I would like to see Chad, but that's more so on Triple H for like not using the Chad story or the Chad Gable storyline and using Sami Zayn. That's like bad writing on their part.
There's some talk if they turn Chad now that he doesn't know what to do anymore and how he can get into the title picture. There's some talk that he may turn heel. I would like that, honestly. He's a good talker. He has the incredible moveset. I would like him as a heel.
They have to do something, right? Because, like, for example, Chad hasn't done anything for the last 2 months, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's make these cutscenes of him trying to win for his daughter. And we're like, well, where the fuck was this?
Yeah, but it's the same that they did with Sammy. They didn't know what to do with him anymore after that Montreal match against Roman. And now he's tinkering around also.
So what I think they wanted to originally do with Sami Zayn was it was going to be him and Drew for a grudge match, but Punk got hurt, so then Drew got moved
Yeah.
there, and that's kind of what caused the issue. But I think the biggest concern right now is The Rock making Cody look like an absolute bitch. Like that. Like, let's be honest. Like, he's made Cody Rhodes look absolutely atrocious for the last 3-4
Yeah.
weeks. Where it's like now, it's like he got Memphis to pop, and he was a heel.
And he was a heel, yeah. But
Well, it's funny.
what
KB already
is it-
said goodnight. He already fucked you guys off.
But but is it just because it was Memphis, or is it an like overall thing now that Rock
It's
is
an overall thing.
winning
People-
winning
people-
the crowd again?
People are kind of like, I don't know who to root for.
Nobody saw that coming. Rock's great. So you're just like, yes.
They even brought the Hollywood theme back.
Yeah, and he's loving it. He's having fun with it. But the thing is, I think nobody looks worse than Roman. Like, he's just there.
Cody and Roman look terrible because like there's no
So
build.
Cody and Roman, yes. The problem is they let The Rock and Seth do all the talking because I think Seth is an actual good talker. I just don't like his voice, but he's a good worker on the mic,
Well,
and him and Rock are carrying this, and they are completely leaving the night 2 main event out because like Cody and Roman don't interact at all together.
No. It's supposed to be next Friday, but then the other question that you'll have is like they're treating Drew just like the ugly fat chick that no one wants to sleep with.
Yeah.
You will if you're desperate enough.
Like that's what
Yeah,
Drew
but-
McIntyre is.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the storyline that he gets overlooked. Like Seth even said, "You're the least of my problems," and they will make something out of that.
Yeah. This is the biggest outro ever. right?
You know how we kill it.
I don't know why you didn't play it originally, but all right, everybody, thanks for tuning into the call-in show. We're going to do this really quick now because people are saying that this is taking too long, and that is what she said. But anyways, everybody, thanks for tuning into this call-in show / Genoa Hard Salami show, where that brother's starving. Thanks, Samuel. But anyways, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern. You can join Canadian Dave and German Dave, so you can get some double Daves and some Genoa salami.
Oh, buddy.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.